going on, everyone? Happy October. So in this video, this live stream, I'm going to cover several mistakes that I personally made um, in previous bull runs. So hopefully you can avoid them yourself during this bull run. But let's start off with the market. So the first thing is just to know that in October, historically speaking, that's when everything goes up. That's why it's called Uptober. And right now you can see pretty much everything is up. Bitcoin is up, Ethereum, XRP, BNB, Solana, everything. We're seeing green candles, which is exactly what we want to see, right? It's great. It's all great and beautiful. Um, but this is just the beginning, and it is exciting. But there's something I want to show you, and let me know if how many of you have seen this. This is the Wall Street, um, the psychology of market cycle. I don't know who created this, if it was created by someone on Wall Street, but it basically shows you the different emotional and psychological levels of the market. Um, and personally, I think we're probably somewhere right here. Um, we hope that a recovery is possible. September is always one of the roughest months. And then literally October hit, yesterday came around, and everything just started to go up. So I wouldn't even say we're in optimism. I'd say a lot of people are hopeful. You see a lot of the influencers are starting to post bullish content now, um, which I think is funny. When everything's performing bad, everyone posts bad things. When things start to go up, they start posting good things. So I would say that we're past the disbelief stage, and I think there is a little bit of hope. Okay, I think there's a little bit of hope that maybe this market will turn around, and some of you will probably make some serious money. Um, so that's what I believe. But definitely let me know in the chat where you think we're at in the market cycle. Maybe we're down over here. Maybe we're already down here. Are you angry? Are you depressed? Let me know. But that said, I usually tend to fall on the more optimistic side, especially because if we look at the historical data, this is actually Bitcoin performance chart created by Binance. So this is an older chart, but as you can see, since 2013, there have only been 2 years in October where Bitcoin underperformed, which was 2014 and 2018. And then look, like during COVID, it was up 27% or 40%. And then the most recent year on this chart, 27%. So October usually is green candles. And from what I've seen personally, everything tends to follow Bitcoin. So it'll start with Bitcoin, then it'll go to, the bigger altcoins like Ethereum, Solana. I think Solana will perform extremely well this cycle. And I don't usually talk about this stuff. And I'm not even saying that I own any Solana or anything that I talk about. But really, usually during the bull runs, like everything will go up. Everything will be green. I better charge my phone here. So the mistake is, I'd say the mistake is being, not hopeful at this point. That's one mistake. I think when everyone is fearful, that's when opportunities come out. We might already be a little bit past the fear stage, but I think there's still opportunity if you're new to crypto and you're trying to get in now. So yeah, that's what I'll say about that. But one mistake that I want to talk about is during the 2021 into 2022 the bull season. That was my first bull run, was 2021. I got into crypto in 2020, and it was absolutely insane. I was mainly into NFTs, and it was ridiculous. Like everything you bought would just go up. Like you could buy it and you could instantly turn around and sell it for a profit, which of course I did on a few things. But the main NFTs that I invested in, Um, you know, I put in like a decent amount of money. It was like several $1,000s, right? Well, at the peak of the bull run, that investment was worth $400,000. I could have sold all my NFTs for $400,000. Like I was looking at it at the screen, that's what they were going for. And you know what I did? I told myself, that's a lot of money. That's more money than I've ever seen in my life. I think I'm going to hold on to it so that I can make more money. That was the decision I made looking at that $400,000 on my phone. So then we go, 2022 and then late into 2022 and then eventually 2023 and things started to go down. But, I wasn't freaking out too bad. I was like, okay, this is just how it goes. Things go up and down. Except it didn't go up. It just kept going down. And that $400,000, it climbed down 300, 200, 100K, all the way back down. And I'm just talking total value, about $10,000, maybe a little less. So eventually, I decided to sell at the bottom. Um, and I basically broke even, but after all the fees, because the NFTs were on Ethereum, and during the bull season, Ethereum fees are like hundreds of dollars just to transact. After you account for all the fees and everything, I probably ended up losing some money on that. So I rode the wave all the way up, 400K on my screen, and then rode it all the way back down. Obviously, it sucked at the time, but I didn't dwell on it. Now for this bull run, I've learned that you know you should never feel bad about taking profit. And I know a lot of you, depending on what you hold, you might have a different view. Most people who hold Bitcoin, for example, they see that as the future. It's the digital gold. You never sell your Bitcoin. Um, which I don't think there's a right or a wrong answer for that. But ultimately, when it comes to taking profit, the first thing that I'll tell you is you should never feel bad about taking profit. You should never feel bad about making money, right? Um, as long as you're doing it legally and it's morally right. But I'm just talking about taking crypto gains. You shouldn't feel bad for taking profit, whether it's a 2x or a 3x. Um, you should not feel guilty about that. And it ultimately depends on your personal situation, right? Like maybe you're retired and maybe you don't have a lot of years left on the planet. Do you really want to hold on to Bitcoin just so it can go up another, 20, 50%? Maybe not. Maybe you want to take some profit and actually enjoy life. Maybe you have bills need paid or something like that. It really just depends on your personal situation. But what I'll tell you right now, what you need to do literally today is you need to go and create a profit taking plan. Like have a plan. That's the biggest mistake I made in the last bull run. What price targets are you going to take profit at? Because I'm telling, and you have to be wiener stiff with those price targets. Because I'm telling you right now, if you don't have a plan, if you don't have set prices, you're going to do the same thing I did, and you're going to ride the wave all the way up. It's going to feel so good. It's going to feel euphoric. Um, and then you'll ride it back down. And I've seen a lot of people fall into major depression because they made that mistake. Now, I don't think any amount of money is worth like being depressed over or, doing like bad things to yourself. But that's the reality. And I've seen people do it. And it's sad and it's unfortunate. But the one way you can just make smarter decisions this bull run is to have a profit taking strategy with whatever crypto you hold. And maybe you want to do it in steps. You'll take 20% at this price target, 20% at this price target, 20% at this price target. At least maybe, consider taking profit so you can get back the initial investment you made. That's one thing. If you haven't seen my video about profit taking, just type in on YouTube how to take crypto profit. That's my number one video on my channel. And I give several strategies and like different ways you could take crypto profit, as well as different ways to do it. You could take profit. You could still keep your profit in crypto by just like swapping it for a stable coin. That way you have realized the profit, but you still get to keep it in the market. Or if you want, and you want to actually plan to use it to pay bills or whatever, you could cash it out to your bank. There's a lot of different options, but definitely go and make a plan right now. The next thing that I'll say is another mistake is not, and like you should all know this is coming, but not taking security seriously. So this happens every year. Quarter four isn't only the best performing time of year for crypto, it's also the best performing time of year for scammers. Um, Happens every year. I think last year phone call scams alone went up about 15%, which is pretty substantial. But because of the holiday season, because everyone's in a rush, um, a lot of money is flowing through the internet and through the crypto space. You have high transaction volume. People just aren't paying attention because of the season, because it's really busy. But especially in crypto, if you've ever been through a bull run and you feel that euphoria and that excitement of everything going up, it's really easy to just tap buy or tap sell or click on that link or open that email that says urgent, open this now. Otherwise, we're taking all your crypto or your account shutting down. It's really easy to fall for that stuff because we're not thinking clearly. Um, so if you plan to keep your crypto this bull run and actually, make some money, I think security should be your number one priority. Because I'm telling you, it happens every year, and also each year, the number of scams, fraud, and hacks increases. Scammers are working overtime. They have families to feed too, and the scam industry, the crypto industry is just a small little part of the scam industry. The scam industry is a $1 trillion industry, maybe even a multi-trillion-dollar industry. And because of how complex and complicated crypto is, and because of the number of new retail investors coming into the space, it's like taking candy from a baby for scammers. It's so easy, so easy. I mean, I've talked to over 20,000 people on this channel. Literally, I have over 20,000 comments on the channel, and I reply to most of them. And a lot of you have already lost crypto, and the bull run hasn't even begun. So I would definitely take that seriously. If you have any questions, about creating a more secure system for your crypto, definitely drop them in the chat. But don't ignore security. If you have your crypto on an exchange right now or in a hot wallet, you need to get it into a cold wallet. I don't know how many mistakes I went over there. Basically, have a profit-taking strategy. Don't be afraid to take profit. Take security seriously, and I don't think now is the time to be fearful. I guess those are 4 right there. But let me just go through the chat real quick. Hakai says, yo, what's going on? Alexander says, hello, what's up? LT Man says, yo, Cyber, Chicago watching. Shout out to LT Man. He's always on the live streams. Shout out to Luca. What's up, Oren Frankel? EV Canada, have you heard about XLS? Is it a solid coin? No idea. Never heard of it. Probably not. Blue Bus Driver, thank you for the stream. I'm new to crypto, though not a spring chicken. Doing my best to stay grounded and make wise decisions. I'd say you're on the right track, Blue Bus Driver. That reminds me of someone. So I don't know if a lot of you saw the video that I published yesterday, but it's how to keep your crypto safe. And in that video, I break down the fundamentals of like how crypto actually works, because a lot of people, when they're looking into a hardware wallet or cold storage, they think their crypto is actually stored on the hardware wallet device, which is not true. Crypto only exists in one place, which is the blockchain. Anyways, in that video, I broke down the fundamentals and how to keep your crypto safe as we head into 2026. And someone commented, they're like, hey, I feel like this channel only talks about crypto wallets and crypto security and whatnot. Can you talk more about what coins to invest in and what you're buying? And my reply was, this isn't a shill channel. I don't shill coins. I teach the fundamentals of crypto and how to navigate the space securely, because not enough people do that. And before you ever look at what coin to buy or, what's the best investment, you should really know how the technology works, especially if you're in this early. Otherwise, you're going to get wrecked. Um, and that's literally what this channel is all about. But I just wanted to point that out. Like, personally, I think there's way more value in understanding the technology than buy this coin. Because if you don't even know how to secure it, it doesn't matter. You're just going to get wrecked, and then you're going to be upset, and then you're going to leave crypto, and you're going to have a sour taste in your mouth. And that's what I hope to help people avoid. Giggle Game says, make a. Oh, wait. Oh, excuse me. I'm not there yet. Blue Bus Driver says, I'm in the hope phase. Hopefully, the vast majority are too. I think so. Giggle Game says, make a video about logging in Tangem on new device since it has a security alert when logging in on a new device. The security alert is just telling you this card is already set up. If that was you that set it up, then you just say, okay, that's not a big deal. That's just in case you receive a Tangem wallet and someone had already set it up and you try to set it up on your device. It says, hey, this wallet's already set up. Like, is that you or is that someone else? That's what that security alert is. Assuming that you set up your Tangem cards and you're logging in on a new phone, you just say, yes, that was me. Not a big deal. Ron James says he still has over 1,000 NFTs. I'm so sorry to hear that. I don't think NFTs are going to make a massive comeback. Just like kind of crypto is now, the entire NFT market in 2021, it was all wash trading. It was all manipulated. None of that was like organic. I mean, I guess retail came in and, like myself and we're trading, but like all that was very planned. Like the sale of Beeple's artwork for, what was it, $50 million. The reason that happened is to kick off the NFT bull run. It was all planned out, all heavily manipulated by bots, again, just like crypto is right now. Brian says, emotions at the start of my trading career killed my accounts. Now, a few years later, stone cold emotions. Yeah, it's really hard to do, but it is best to take emotions out of trading, which I'd say almost no one does. I mean, I don't even do that myself to the fullest extent. But that's why I say if you create like a profit-taking strategy, that's one way that you can take emotion out of the equation and just tell yourself, okay, it doesn't matter how I feel. If I think it's going to 100x from here or whatever, you create that plan and you stick to it. Someone said, if you were to go all in, which crypto would you buy? I'm not going to comment on that. Ron James says, most of what I have isn't worth anything now. If you're talking about your NFTs, again, I don't think, unfortunately, I don't think they'll make a comeback. Giggle Game says, that 400K, where did you store that? A cold wallet? So it wasn't 400K in crypto. It was, I had 4 NFTs that in total were worth 400K. And yes, those NFTs were stored in at the time they were stored, secured by my Ledger wallet, my Ledger Nano X. Dat Guy Grow says, y'all need to learn to DCA. I think most people DCA. I'd say most people, they have a set amount that they take from their paycheck each month and put into crypto. But yeah, DCAing is a good strategy. Joanny says, hi, what's going on? Pantheon Tail says, what about Doge? No comment there. Andrea says, yo, Alex, nice to catch you live. Happy to have you here. OP Santos says, never sell Bitcoin, use altcoins to take profits, not financial advice. Yeah, again, I'm not super huge on the never sell your Bitcoin advice. Again, it really just depends on your personal situation. Bitcoin doesn't do you any good just sitting there on your screen. No money does, right? You got $1 million in your bank account. That's cool. But what are you doing with it? Are you helping someone? Are you enjoying life? It really just depends on the person. You could die tomorrow and all your Bitcoin, could just be sitting there and no one will ever access it again. Santos says, "This is my first bull run. I'm extremely excited. Um, I'm super excited and extremely scared." I think that's a good kind of attitude to have. I think being excited, is good, but also, you shouldn't be scared if you can kind of eliminate that fear by one, again, having a plan, and also make sure that your crypto is sitting securely in cold storage. Um, do that, and you'll be able to sleep at night. Armando says, "Are you going to watch the Super Bowl halftime show?" Absolutely not. Um, one, I don't watch football. Two, I am anti halftime show. I do not. It's not something that I support. Nobody says, "If you put your work check into Bitcoin every 2 weeks, 4 years ago, you would have given yourself a big raise. So it's not too late to start now." Yeah, it's a good point. I mean, if you have any extra money, and you might want to allocate that into something that you have conviction in. Meryl says, best offline wallets other than Bitcoin, or sorry, other than Keystone. Yeah, Keystone is not a wallet I recommend to most beginners because it's really just not that enjoyable to use. It's an air gap wallet. Uh, their native app has very minimal support for cryptocurrency, so you have to use different apps, something like MetaMask. Definitely not the best beginner wallet. I have two wallets linked in the description of this live stream. The first one, if you want to get your crypto off an exchange and become your own bank, and do it easily. If you've ever feared using a cold wallet, Tangem is the one I recommend. You can get 10% off that wallet with the link in the description. Actually, let's see here. So yeah, this is the Tangem wallet I'm talking about. This is the pricing right now. If you use a link in the description, it's only $49 for a 2-pack, or you can get a 3-pack for $62. This is a wallet that I'd recommend to keep your crypto safe as we head into 2026. And it's the best one for beginners by far. The only thing you need to use it is the card, which it comes with, and your phone, your iOS or Android mobile device. I have an entire playlist on my channel about how to use this wallet, any questions you might have, and you'll literally be an expert after watching those videos. So yeah, if you have any questions, definitely check out that playlist, or just type in 40 questions Tangem wallet on YouTube, and there's a video where I answer 40 questions about this wallet. But I've been using Tangem for over 2 years now. It's what I've recommended to my friends and family. My dad has a Tangem wallet. I gave my best friend a Tangem wallet for his birthday, and then let him set it up on his own, and then I transferred some crypto to him. So yeah, that's the one I'd recommend. Other than that, I'd recommend the Ledger Flex. I have a link to this one in the description as well if you want one that works on your computer and your mobile phone. I've been using Ledger since 2020. That's when I got my first hardware wallet, when I got into crypto. And I've continued to use Ledger, and they are one of the most secure companies on the market. They have helped other hardware wallet brands like Cold Card, like Trezor, like Tangem. They have found vulnerabilities in all their devices and communicated those vulnerabilities privately to those companies so they can make more secure products. That's one reason I like Ledger. But yeah, the Ledger Flex and the Ledger Stacks, you get $20 worth of free Bitcoin if you buy one of those wallets using the link in the description of this live stream. And check this out. So I know a lot of you are gonna think I'm crazy, but I have 3 Ledger Flexes, and they're magnetic, so you can stack them to some degree, which is kind of cool. But you don't need 3 Ledger Flexes. You really just need one, depending on your diversification strategy. But anyways. Damien says, does any cold wallet support ZigChain? Their blockchain just went live this Tuesday. Probably not. If it's a brand new blockchain, it's going to take a little while for a wallet to implement it. Nobody here says Cold Card Q. Yeah, Cold Card is a Bitcoin only wallet. A lot of people like it. Bitcoin Maxis. I do not use Bitcoin only wallets because I hold other cryptos besides Bitcoin, so it doesn't really make much sense for me to use a Bitcoin only wallet. And also, the Bitcoin only wallets are just pure marketing. They're not actually more secure. A lot of you will disagree with me on this, but I was told this directly by one of the top hardware wallet companies, um, that is true. Bitcoin only wallets are marketing. It's not actually more secure. It's just a way to get people Bitcoin maxis into the door and buy their products. Same thing with air gap wallets. Hakai says, I got my Tangent wallet because of you. Awesome. Hope you're enjoying it because it's definitely my favorite wallet as far as usability. Jetlag says, can you make a video about logging a Tangent on a new device? Has a security alert, which is kind of scary. There's nothing to be scared of. The security alert is just letting you know the wallet is already set up because you set it up. All you have to do is click OK. The security alert is just is only there in case, like, let's say you bought a Tangent wallet and someone had, got access to it and they set up a wallet before, you received it. That's the reason that's there. But assuming you set up the wallet, you just click OK. That's what the security alert is for. Trezor 3 Bitcoin is easy. Trezor is one of my favorite wallets. I have all the Trezor wallets. This is the Trezor Safe 3, which is one of my favorite Trezor wallets, along with the Safe 5. But I really do like the Trezor Safe 3. Again, not a fan of the Bitcoin only, very limited because I hold more than Bitcoin, but that's what you're into, then that's what you're into. Santos says, what do you think about Jupe? Nothing there. Northrop Crypto says, hi, I got 2 Tangent wallets thanks to you, 1 card and 1 ring, the best. Yeah, so Tangent, and you can see it right here, they actually have the Tangent ring right there. And the ring comes with, it's literally a crypto wallet ring, so this is a cold wallet. And then it comes with 2 cards as well. This is the first and only cold wallet wearable on the market. I've had this one since the ring came out. I think it's been almost a year now. The most discreet and durable wallet on the market. And I like that it comes with 2 cards. So again, 10% off that in the description as well. Andrea says the Engrave Zero, depending on what coins you hold, of course. Yeah, so the Engrave Zero is one of the, if not the most expensive wallet on the market. In fact, I keep misplacing it. I had it with me, but the Engrave Zero, it's like a $420 wallet. It is a great wallet. I will say you don't need to spend $420 to get a secure wallet. That's kind of always been my argument with Engrave. Yeah, it's the only wallet with an EAL7 operating system, which was one of the highest security rankings you can get. But by no means is that a requirement to get yourself a secure wallet. Like the one on screen, Tangent, they've sold or produced over 6 million cards since 2017, and they haven't been compromised one time. Something interesting that I found out about Tangent is when they originally started in 2017, they were actually B2C, so they were, or C to B, or however you want to say it. Actually, no, they were B2B. So they only sold wallets to like companies, to businesses, which I thought was super interesting. Same deal with Arculus. They're really focused on supplying wallets to companies. And it wasn't until later that they started focusing on retail, which I just think that's super interesting. That's kind of how they started. Alexander said, just to be sure, you can switch your crypto to stable coins from your cold wallet. Only the fees are a little higher. Am I right? Yeah, that's right. I will say the only caveat there is it depends on what crypto you're swapping. Cold wallets are limited to whatever the third parties they use. So if that third party doesn't support the crypto you're trying to swap, then obviously you wouldn't be able to swap it. But if you're swapping any of the popular coins like Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, XRP, more than likely you're going to be able to swap directly in a cold wallet to a stable coin to effectively take profit. And yeah, you'll probably just pay a little bit higher fees. Personally, what I do when I take profit, like I'm talking about like actually cashing out, is I send it back to my preferred crypto exchange just to save on fees. It doesn't really take me any extra time, and I use Kraken. Lydia says, I had told you I lost 5K from Tangem. It was from Trust Wallet and the smart contract. Um, I don't remember you telling me that, and I'm not sure exactly what you mean, but it sounds like you actually lost it because you had it stored in Trust Wallet and you signed a malicious smart contract, which would make sense. I'm sorry to hear that, but that's um, something to take note of. That's why you want to have separate cold wallets. You want one just for storage where you aren't connecting it to websites and signing transactions, and then you can have like another hot wallet to do that stuff. Santos says stables can be frozen. Some of them can, yeah. Carlos says, hello, nice to catch you live. Thanks to your videos, I recently switched to self-custody. No turning back now. Greetings from Chile. Nice. Super cool to have you here, Carlos. Glad that you are being responsible and securing your crypto in a self-custodial wallet. Hopefully that's a cold wallet. Arun says, hello, what's going on? Intercoastal says, in regards to Decent Wallet, does the thumbnail print scan help with the fact that they're closed source? Absolutely not. That doesn't have anything to do with their closed source code. So Decent, for a lot of you who probably own a Decent wallet, is not a wallet I recommend. I think anyone recommending that wallet is irresponsible. I'll just say that. I think any influencer or YouTuber recommending Decent either just doesn't know what it means to have fully closed source code, or they're just being irresponsible and trying to collect a paycheck because Decent pays influencers to post videos about their products. But Decent is one of the only 100% closed source wallets on the market. And all that means is the code and everything used to build their wallets is kept private to the company. So there's no way for external, security experts or ethical hackers to verify that any claims the company makes is true. So Decent could have a backdoor, like they could have access to your keys and you wouldn't even know it, which is why I don't recommend it. But having a fingerprint scanner would not help in that case. Doesn't really have anything to do with it. Griff says, opinion on Pepe and Bonk. I don't have any opinions on them. I will say Pepe in general is probably the most popular meme in the world. So yeah, I don't know. I will say I was extremely early to Pepe. So I found Pepe through someone on Twitter. I think it was day 2 or day 3 after launch. That's how early I was to Pepe. And that was during a bear market that Pepe was created. And yeah, I was there for the beginning of it all. I was in the Twitter spaces with, thousands of other people during the bear market. So it's crazy to see how well it's progressed, and now it's a top 5 or a top 10 cryptocurrency in the world, if I'm not mistaken. So, I know of Pepe. I was into Pepe early, and that's all that I'll say. Blockchain says, what wallet is best besides Tangem? Best is subjective. What might be the best wallet for me might not be the best for you. But in general, I always recommend Tangem and the Ledger Flex, or really any Ledger wallet. Ledger has 4 different models of wallets. They're all equally secure. Just kind of depends which design you prefer. I prefer the Ledger Flex, which again is this one with the touchscreen. So this is the other one I'd recommend. Link to both these wallets are in the description of this live stream. That said, in general, my favorite wallet brands, I could tell you in no specific order: Tangem, Ledger, Trezor, and OneKey. Those are probably my top 4 wallets right now, brand wise. CDia says, hey, I have a question for you. I have 2 sets of Tangem cards, and I just started using Coin Ledger tax software. And I moved some crypto to my first set of Tangem cards, and my tax software recorded it. Not sure what you mean by that, but if you could clarify, maybe I could help you. Mike says, how to prevent crypto trading from becoming an addiction like gambling. Yeah, so a lot of people don't realize like crypto, the way retail treats it, it really is just a 24/7 casino, and people are addicted to it. Um, there are hotlines you can reach out to, like gambling hotlines, if you do have an addiction to gambling. So that's one option. Um, Other than that, I would say maybe have a set amount of money that you allocate, on a monthly basis that's extra that you can put into crypto without sacrificing, not being able to pay your bills or put food on your family's table, things like that. So basically, just have um, a set amount of money that you put in, and that's all you do. Also, money that if you lost it, it was not going to impact your lifestyle. But that's really all I have to say about that. If you do have a gambling addiction, I recommend reaching out to someone for professional help. Someone said, I recently bought a SafePal X1. Is this safe to stake from the SafePal app? In general, yeah, you're fine to stake from the SafePal app, but there are risks with staking in general. If you want to learn about those risks, just type in how to stake crypto on YouTube and watch my video, and I go over all the risks of staking crypto in general. BPF says, when will we get a Solana Seeker review? I'm curious about shipping time and the value of tokens. Solana Seeker review. So I have it right here. It's the Seeker. And I have been using it, but the review, it's just not a priority right now. I do really want to get the review out, but with what season it is, being October, and Q4, I'm really focusing on getting content out that will help people navigate the market safely. So that's all that I got to say about that. Papa Smurf says, do you use one cold wallet for Bitcoin and one for stablecoin? No, not exactly. I don't have like set wallets for different cryptocurrencies. That's one way you could diversify, but I usually just keep like certain amounts in wallets. But I don't separate Bitcoin from stable coins and altcoins or anything like that. Jetlag says, when I logged into Tangem on a new device, my addresses were missing. Not sure what you mean by that, but your addresses are all still there. They're attached to your keys. You would just have to add the tokens back to the token page. It's not like they're erased. That's impossible. CDia says, when I moved the same crypto over to my second set of Tangem cards, the tax software didn't record it. What do you think is causing the problem? It's not the tax software that records the transactions. All the tax software does is it scrapes the blockchain where every single crypto transaction is permanently recorded. So it sounds like you need to refresh. Anytime you transact, you need to refresh the tax software to get, and then it'll scan the blockchain for the latest transactions. But yeah, again, the tax software, it doesn't record anything. It takes all the data from the blockchain where crypto exists and where everything is recorded. So it's impossible for your transactions to not have been recorded on the blockchain, assuming they were confirmed. So it just sounds like you need to resync or refresh the tax software. Ken says, everyone needs to watch your Tangem videos. They are fantastic, and you will understand all about Tangem. I mean, only watch my Tangem videos if you want the most simple, beginner-friendly cold wallet on the market, and you want to understand everything about it. Only watch those videos if that sounds like you. Mike says, are Ethereum gas fees high when transferring tokens from Trezor to exchange? So Ethereum gas fees have nothing to do with like what you're transferring from, what device you're using, where you're transferring it to. It doesn't matter if you're using a cold wallet, a hot wallet, an exchange. Gas fees don't have anything to do with that. Gas fees are solely dependent on the network you're using. So in the case of Ethereum, and how busy the network is at the time of your transaction. So if it's peak bull season and everyone is transacting on Ethereum, you're going to pay a lot higher gas fees than right now, where no one's really using Ethereum. So potentially, yeah. Again, in 2021, when most NFTs lived on Ethereum, the fees were insane. I'm talking like hundreds, literally $200 just to send like an NFT. So that's what you can expect if Ethereum gets crazy. Just Denny says, bro, Tangent videos are so helpful. I'm glad to hear that. Thanks for your feedback. CDS says, also, I cannot swipe between the two sets of Tangent cards. How do I make that work? Make sure both sets of cards in the settings, make sure you have the Save Wallet in-app feature enabled. Maybe that would be the reason. I've never had an issue. I have 3 different phones with Tangent wallets on them, and I can swipe between all of them at the top of the screen. Curious says, hi, how about Cool Wallet Pro? No, I'm not a fan of Cool Wallet Pro. That was one of the first hardware wallets I reviewed on this channel. Just get Tangent. It's a lot more user-friendly. It's a lot better product, a lot better app, in my opinion. That's what I'd say about that. Marcia says, how does it work if you set up a Tangent wallet and want to add a Ledger Flex? How can you hold the same coin balance in another cold wallet? So Marcia, you should watch the video that I published on this channel yesterday. It's, I already forgot what it's called. How to secure your crypto. If I wanted to secure my crypto for 2026, I'd do this. Go watch that video after this live stream, because it sounds like you need just to learn how the fundamentals of crypto actually goes. But your crypto isn't stored in the wallet. It's not stored on the Flex or in the Tangent card. Your crypto is all tied to your master key or your seed phrase. The seed phrase is the master key to all of your crypto accounts on the blockchain. So all you have to do to access your crypto on any hardware wallet device is import that seed phrase into the device. So if you have a seed phrase on Tangent, you can literally take that same seed phrase, enter it into the Ledger Flex, and you'll have access to all the same crypto, and they'll essentially be the same wallet secured by different devices. Santos says, I learned how to use a Ledger Flex with your video. Appreciate it. Awesome. Glad to hear that. That's another thing. If you are hesitant to get a cold wallet because you just don't know how it works, both for the Tangent, which is the one I recommend most for beginners, and the Ledger Flex, I have tutorials, full user guides on how to set these up and use them, including transferring crypto, in the description of this live stream. So literally everything you need is in the description. You get the discount code, 10% off Tangent. You get $20 worth of free Bitcoin if you buy the Flex. And I have tutorials for both of those wallets in the description as well. So literally everything you need is in the description. Is Tangent wallet good? Yeah, Tangent, in my opinion, is one of the best wallets on the market right now. I don't think anyone compares in terms of user friendliness. Leroy says, so do you need KYC for Tangent? Can you transfer from Tangent to your bank? You don't need KYC for any cold wallet. They are, self-custodial, decentralized wallets, you could say. So you don't need KYC to use any cold wallet. But anytime you're turning crypto into cash, you're going to have to KYC, unless you're using some kind of peer-to-peer marketplace, which 99% of people don't do. But you can sell crypto directly from your Tangent wallet and from really any cold wallet. But all cold wallets just partner with third-party liquidity providers and crypto exchanges. So if you press the sell button in a cold wallet, it'll take you to that third-party exchange within the cold wallet app. And you still have to create an account on the exchange and go through the KYC process. Some of them you only have to KYC if you are transacting with larger amounts, like over $500. But I would just expect to go through KYC. There's really no way around KYC. There are some ways, but if you're selling directly from your cold wallet, there's not. Easy says, what's the update for Tangent Pay? It's the same as it's been for the last 5 months. They're still expecting to come out the end of this year, only in select countries, I think Europe and the UK. Don't expect it anytime soon in the US, last I heard. Patrick says, hello, Cyber. Thank you for the great info you provide. Tangent's great. One question I have, what happens if I reset my Tangent wallet? Do I lose all my assets? Okay, again, if you have that same question, that means you're telling me you don't understand how crypto actually works, like crypto 101, which is okay. I'm not calling you out. I'm just saying I highly recommend watching the video I published yesterday. If I were to secure my crypto in 2026, I do this because in that video I explain the fundamentals and that literally answers this question. But your crypto is not tied to the wallet. If you have your seed phrase, that's all you need to access your crypto. So as long as you have your seed phrase, you can reset your cold wallet and you're not going to lose your crypto because the crypto doesn't live on the cold wallet device, it lives on the blockchain. To access that crypto, you use your seed phrase. The cold wallet device just secures the seed phrase. It secures the keys to your crypto. That said, Tangent is a little different because you can set it up without a seed phrase. If you have your Tangent wallet set up without the 12 or 24 word seed phrase and you do a factory reset, yes, you will lose all of your crypto because you don't know the key. You don't have the keys to your crypto. So if you're trying to do that, what you would need to do before resetting your Tangent wallet is send your crypto either to another wallet temporarily or to a crypto exchange temporarily, do the reset for whatever reason, and then you can send it back. But if you have your seed phrase and you have it written down and you have access to it and you know you wrote it down correctly, then you can safely reset your Tangent wallet without losing your crypto. Someone said, hi, great channel. Question, did I screw up setting up my Ledger Flex with the mobile first and not the other way around, desktop to Flex? Nope, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. If you set up your Ledger Flex on your phone, then you just plug it into Ledger Live on your desktop and you can connect it that way. You just won't go through the setup process. It doesn't matter if you set it up on the phone or the computer first. Usually, I just recommend doing it on the computer because it's... I've seen people with get some errors with the firmware updates when doing it on mobile, but if you didn't have any issues, then you're good to go. Shadow Ink says, only Jesus can save your soul. Follow him to do it today. Absolutely. Amen to that. Dat Guy Grow says, what's the best wallet for XRP? Again, best is so subjective, guys. There's no no one can claim to be the best wallet. Only you can decide what's the best wallet for you, your experience level, and the coins you hold. For XRP, Tangem supports XRP. If you're new to cold wallets, again, Tangem is what I recommend. Ledger also supports XRP. I think Trezor supports XRP. Let me see. But most wallets, unless it's a Bitcoin-only wallet, should support XRP right now. So yeah, XRP is supported on the new Trezor Safe. So the Trezor Safe 3 and Safe 5 supports XRP. But if this is your first cold wallet, I would either go with Tangem or the Ledger Flex, which are both linked in the description. Those are the two most user-friendly wallets and why I recommend them on the channel so often, because a lot of my audience is beginner to intermediate level. And also, just to make things clear, Ledger is not just for beginners, and I don't think Tangem is either. I wouldn't consider myself a beginner in the crypto space. I'd say I know more than the average user when it comes to security. And Tangem is still my personal favorite wallet. It's the wallet I use the most, and I do trust it to secure my crypto. So I don't know, just want to put that out there. Mike says, do you use margin trade? I don't. Santos says, Ledger Flex is my choice. That's a good choice. Andreas says, nighttime here. Thanks, Alex, and catch you later. Thank you, Andreas, for joining the live stream. Nasir says, do you trade meme? Like I said, I was very early to Pepe. I got into Pepe day 3 or 4 of it. Yes, I do trade meme coins. Echo Base Build says, what's your view on this bull run? Do you think it's going into Q1, Q2 next year? Possibly. No one knows. That's my view. Anyone telling you that they know where the market is headed is either delusional or they're just straight up lying to you. That's why you see a lot of YouTubers, one day the video will be, crypto is crashing and we're all screwed. And then the next day they're like, crypto is the best investment. This is a coin you need to buy. That's because they don't know what they're talking about and they're just, hoping to be right. I would argue there are very, 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 very few crypto experts in the world that know where crypto is headed. The only other exception would be like scammers who create coins, launch them, and then create fake transaction volume and manipulate the price. That'd be one way they know where crypto is going because they're literally manipulating the price. But it's hard to say. Usually, when I'm looking at like what crypto could do, just look at historically what it's done in the past. Historically, October is always Uptober. It's extremely bullish. And that usually continues into the later months, October, November, December. Also, everyone just went back to school. They're finally getting into a routine. Winter's coming around, so people are going to be inside. They don't go out as much. They're not spending as much money outside in the real world. So they have more money to spend and gamble in crypto in the colder months. So that's kind of what I've observed. Erwin says, I still don't understand how Cold Wallet works. Who's generating the seed phrase? Is it the hardware or the company, the software? For most wallets, the seed phrase is generated on the secure element chip. Inside the card, it uses something called a true random number generator. All seed phrases are derived from what's called the BIP 39 word list. This is a list of 2,048 random words, and the possible number of combinations is insanely large. Like 1 with 100 zeros after it is the possible number of combinations. But yeah, just again, you should watch the video that I published yesterday, but maybe you already did. But the seed phrase is just the master key to all your crypto. Crypto only exists on the blockchain, no crypto. And the seed phrase is the key that gives you access to all your accounts and addresses on the blockchain. So a cold wallet is simply a device. You can think of it like a tool that you use to manage the keys that are used to access your crypto on the blockchain. Irvin says, hey man, I'm a new subscriber. Cool, thank you for subscribing and happy to have you on the channel. Austin says, I sent Cronos from an exchange on the ETH network. Looked like gas fee was going to be the Cronos coin. It didn't arrive in my Tangent, but says on exchange it was successful. Any thoughts on what happened? You sent Cronos from exchange on the ETH network. Looked like gas was going to be the Cronos coin. It's hard to say. It sounds like if it was successful, you would need to go and check, Austin, go back to the transaction on the exchange, and then you should be able to click into it and actually make sure it was confirmed on the blockchain. If it was, then you should be good. It sounds like you might have the wrong Cronos enabled on your Tangent wallet. I would also go into your Tangent wallet, go to the manage tokens section, search for Cronos, and just enable all the networks just to see if it's sitting on one of those other networks. Maybe you just didn't enable the right one. That's usually what happens when someone sends crypto to their Tangent wallet and they don't see it show up. They have the wrong network enabled. That's where I would start. Because assuming you sent it on the correct network and it was confirmed on the blockchain, it's impossible that it's not sitting on your wallet address. Mike says, thanks a lot for answering our questions. One last question though, are you a daily trader or a hodler? So the answer is both, and it depends on the time of year. If I see an opportunity to get in on a token early, and I believe that token is going to be short-lived, then for that time being, I'm a daily trader. But I also have my conviction plays that I've been holding for well over a year. And yeah, you don't have to be one or the other. You can do both. It just kind of depends on what you want to do. CDS says, I did refresh the software on the tax software and it won't register it. I tried several times. CDS, is the address that you did the transaction on, have you entered that address into the crypto tax software? Because if you don't actually tell the software what address is to track in the blockchain, they're not going to track it. So make sure that you've entered that specific receiving address that you have sent the crypto to and from. Make sure that's in the crypto tax software, otherwise it won't register it. Irvin says, hey, new subscriber, just bought a Tangem wallet a few weeks ago using your 10% discount. Do you connect Tangem to a Web3 like Rabby or MetaMask? Okay. Tangem and MetaMask is not Web3. Or sorry, Rabby and MetaMask. Those are hot wallets. It's just a crypto wallet app. It's not Web3. I know pretty much every crypto company uses the term Web3 at this point, but Web3 does not exist. It's a phrase that was made up by venture capitalists so that people who don't know what they're talking about think that the venture capitalists know what they're talking about. It's just a buzzword. And it's also used to scam a lot of people. But to answer your question, you cannot connect your Tangem wallet to any other wallet like MetaMask or Rabby, and you also don't need to. You can do everything you need to do, you can do with your Tangem app. I will say, don't connect your main cold storage wallet to third-party websites. Don't buy NFTs with your main cold storage wallet. Like, don't connect it to OpenSea. Don't connect it to Uniswap. Anytime you do that and you sign a transaction, you are risking signing a malicious transaction and giving scammers access to your wallet. If you want to mess around in Web3, but really just on crypto applications, just use a separate wallet to do that. Just set up a MetaMask wallet, keep a very small amount of crypto on there, whatever amount you need for the transaction, and do the swaps or whatever, and then send it to your cold wallet for safekeeping. But do not connect your main cold wallet to any external websites. But again, you cannot connect Tangem to other wallets, and there's no reason to. Santos says, imagine you got a cold wallet and you signed a malicious transaction and your Ethereum wallet got compromised. My question is, what about the other chains? Will they be compromised too? No, because each blockchain network in your wallet, like Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, all those addresses in your wallet, they all have their own private key. So they're all their own kind of little wallets. So if you sign a malicious transaction using your Ethereum address, that's the address that would be compromised. That's the private key that would be compromised. That said, if you have a lot of crypto in your wallet that lives on the Ethereum network, like let's say you had Ethereum, let's say you also had Pepe, which is a meme coin on Ethereum, then they would have access to all of those. So any tokens on Ethereum, they would have access to as well. Lydia says, I couldn't transfer XDC from Kraken to Tangem address error. I would need more info. I don't know. I can't really troubleshoot that. I believe Tangem supports XDC, so you shouldn't have any issues doing that. I would, Lydia, double check that you're sending it on the correct network and make sure you're copying your receiving address from the correct XDC network address in your Tangem wallet. If you're trying to send XDC to your Tangem wallet, and it's on one network on Kraken, but it's a different network in Tangem, it'll give you an error and basically say that's not a recognized address because you're sending it on the wrong network. Logic Q says, do you recommend using OTCs for cashing out? If you know of one that is reputable, you definitely could. Most people don't. But if you know of a reputable one, then, I don't see an issue with it. P. Durska, sorry if I messed up your name there, says, what is KYC? Sorry, a newbie here. So KYC is short for Know Your Customer, and it's a requirement by banks and now crypto exchanges, basically to help prevent anti-money laundering. It's basically so they can track you and know that you're not doing illegal activities. So when you go through KYC, you have to give up things like your social security number, your full name, address, some cases proof of address, basically so the exchange or whatever you're using knows where your money is coming from and that you're not doing anything illegal with it. CDS says, do you have an email address that I can send you some more questions with a problem I'm having because your live stream chat, I can't text everything. No, I don't offer email support or any kind of consultations. If you have questions, you can just leave a comment on a video. N5IG3 says, do you recommend Arculus? Not really. I have an Arculus wallet and I don't use it. I think Tangem is a much better product. I think the app is better. I like the plastic cards better. Personally, I know the metal cards are cool, but I like the plastic cards better. But Arculus is also 100% closed source, which is a bummer. But Tangem supports more cryptocurrencies. The app is more user friendly. So I would go Tangem over Arculus personally, and I own both. So yeah, again, anyone who's just joining, if you are looking for a cold wallet, which is the most secure way to keep your crypto during this bull run, I have 2 wallets linked in the description. Have the Tangem wallet, you get 10% off, which again is my favorite wallet. And I have the Ledger Flex wallet. And if you don't know how to use either of these wallets, I've also dropped the full user guide tutorial to both of those in the description as well. Again, 10% off Tangem in the description, $20 worth of free Bitcoin if you buy a Ledger Flex. Credit to crypto. Which SEX do you recommend? Centralized crypto exchange do you recommend for business accounts? Kraken is a good one. Northrop Crypto says, if no seed phrase created with a Tangem wallet, can we create a seed phrase with our crypto in that wallet already? No. Once you set up your wallet, the key's already generated, and that's the keys that exist on the card. However, if you are interested in using a seed phrase on your seedless Tangem wallet, basically what you have to do is you have to restart. So you have to factory reset your cards and start the process over again and set it up with a seed phrase, which there is a right and a wrong way to do that. And let me show you. I have a video on that. You should go and watch it if you are interested in doing that. And I got to take off the green screen here. So go and watch this video. Let me take this off. If you're looking to set up your Tangem wallet with a seed phrase because it's currently seedless, go and watch this video. That's exactly what I show you how to do. You basically need to factory reset your cards, but you have to do it the right way. Otherwise, you could lose all your crypto if you have crypto. But this video will explain everything. That's what I would go watch. Dun, 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 dun. This is way too low. Okay, Leroy says, does Tangem have any earn reward protocol for Bitcoin or XRP, like a form of staking? Nope, not for Bitcoin, but you can stake natively in the Tangem app for certain cryptocurrencies. But Tangem is not a centralized platform. They don't offer rewards like that. Fahad says, which stables are best to keep your funds in during the peak of the bull run? Honestly, I don't know. I've always had I haven't had any issues using USDT, even sometimes USDC. But for me, I usually have my stables that I hold are USDT. Just Denny says hi. What's going on, Just Denny? Pinda says you make great videos. Thank you. Erwin had a great question. What's the odds of seed phrase being identical to another out there duplicate randomly happen to be chosen by a wallet's chip? I don't think that's ever happened, and I don't know if it could happen, but I don't believe once a seed phrase is already generated that, it could be generated again. The B says, what's your favorite crypto to hold? Not something that I don't give investment advice on this channel, at least not in terms of what crypto to buy. Vtron says, should I buy some cryptos in the Tangem wallet just to make it easier? You can, if you want to. You're going to pay higher fees. But let me be very clear. Buying crypto on an exchange and sending it to your Tangem wallet is not any more difficult than just buying it in the Tangem wallet. I could literally go buy crypto right now on Kraken and send it to my Tangem wallet in a matter of like 60 seconds. It's really not that hard. Sending crypto is extremely straightforward. It's as easy as sending an email. You copy the receiving address from the receiving wallet. You go back to the exchange or wherever you're sending your crypto from. You paste the receiving address. You enter how much you want to send and you hit send. Obviously, there are some small caveats, like, you want to send it on the same network, but it's really that easy. Once you do it a couple times, it's like riding a bike. Irvin says, because I keep seeing these bloggers, they say don't leave your coins to exchange or cold wallet, connect it back up to a Web3 wallet. I just don't understand. Irvin, those are scammers. Also, bloggers in 2025, it's all AI, and like almost all blogs are scams. In the crypto space, all the blogs, they're all scams. Even the big companies like Cointelegraph, like a lot of these big crypto media companies, they literally advertise scams in their blogs. Don't listen to that. Stop reading those blogs. But that doesn't even make any sense. I would say that it is true. You don't want to keep your coins on exchanges. That's true. A cold wallet is the most secure way to store your crypto. The whole Web3 thing, that is a scam. Whatever they're trying to get you to click on or use is going to be a scam. Vtron says there's a problem with buying on Coinbase. I put all my Coinbase and Coinbase wallet in my Tangent wallet, but now I have like a week waiting period for my money to be able to send to Tangent. That's pretty standard on any crypto exchange. Coinbase is the worst for holding coins. That's why I do not use Coinbase. Coinbase is a absolute trash crypto exchange with high fees, terrible customer support. Not an exchange I will ever use again. And I used them for years. Optimus says, if someone has one of my Tangent cards, can they reset my access code if they click on forgot code? Depends on how you have it in the settings. There's an option in the settings to enable or disable the feature, the reset access code feature with one card. Rahan says, what happens after all Bitcoin is mined or something? I mean, nothing really happens. It just, you can't mine it anymore. It will still exist. It's possible that the price could go up a lot, or maybe not. But nothing like specifically will happen necessarily. Erwin says, thanks for your reply. One more question. Have you used Keystone or OneKey before? What do you think of those two brands? I have all those wallets. I literally have almost every wallet on the market, and I've tested them all. Keystone is cool. It has good security features. It's not a wallet I'd ever recommend for beginners. It's also not one that I use on a daily basis. It's just not that great of a wallet to use. It's secure. It's not that usable. OneKey, one of my favorite wallet brands. I like the OneKey. The OneKey. Why can't I think of it? I like the OneKey Classic is probably my favorite OneKey wallet. Well, now they have the OneKey Classic 1S and the OneKey Classic Pure. But yeah, I think they're both good brands. I would trust both of them to secure my crypto. But again, my top favorite wallet brands in no specific order is Tangent, Ledger, Trezor, and OneKey. Gal says, hello, so Tangent good only to hold, or can I swap and buy? All cold wallets, you should treat them like your savings account. That doesn't mean you can't use the native app to swap, buy, and sell crypto. What I mean is do not connect your main cold storage wallet to external websites where you're signing transactions. Again, marketplaces like Uniswap, OpenSea. If you want to claim an airdrop, you don't do that with your main cold storage wallet. Everything that comes with the wallet and the wallet app is safe to use. Do not connect it to external websites. Manuel says, if my backup card stops working, can I replace it with another one? Not really. The only exception and little kind of, way you could do it is if you have a seed phrase, then you can import your seed phrase into your new set of cards. If your Tangent wallet is set up without a seed phrase, then no. Lemon Lucas says, should I send crypto to hot then cold wallet? Absolutely not. I don't know where people get that idea. Some people believe that when you're sending crypto from an exchange that you have to send it to a hot wallet before a cold wallet for like increased security and privacy. Not how it works. The only thing that does for you is you waste money on more fees. It's completely safe to send crypto directly from the exchange to your cold wallet. It doesn't increase privacy if you do it to a hot wallet first, and it doesn't increase security. Again, it just wastes money. Boy says, hi, what's going on? Gal says, where do you recommend to buy or swap your crypto? It depends. Like, are you asking which crypto exchange or what? Because I use Kraken to buy and sell. You can swap natively in the Cold Wallet app, like the Tangem app or Ledger Live. Also, I use a lot of decentralized exchanges. I use pond0x.com. I've used Uniswap. There's Jupiter for Solana. But again, you don't want to use your cold storage wallet if you're using those decentralized exchanges. You want to use a separate wallet that's not your main portfolio wallet, because you always risk signing a malicious transaction. Even if the platform is safe now, it could be compromised in the future. And if you've already signed that spend approval and the platform is hacked in the future, then since you've already signed the spend approval, they could actually come and take crypto out of your wallet. So that's why you don't want to have those approvals signed with your main wallet. Regarding setting up banking on an exchange, do you trust Plaid connection to your Kraken account? I don't like that they get access to all your transaction history and balances. I use Plaid. I have been using Plaid since it was available. I haven't had any issues. BJ says, when is the best time to send your money from a hot wallet to the exchange in order to take profits for a bull run? From what I understand, some systems could get jammed up because everybody's using it. There's no really best time. Also, why is your crypto in a hot wallet? It should be in a cold wallet. I will say we don't know when crypto exchanges are going to go down. That just happens randomly. There's no way we would know that. You should go watch my How to Take Crypto Profit video. A way to avoid risking not taking profit is simply when you're ready to take profit, just swap it to a stable coin. That way you've already realized those profits, and then you can you don't have to worry about if the exchange will shut down or when you do it, because you've already taken profit. So you could just swap to a stable and then send to the crypto exchange when it's up and running, and that'd be the best way to do it, in my opinion. Giggle Game says, my Tangem is registered with 24-word phrase. Where can I input the 24 words besides Tangem? Well, you can input that phrase into any cold wallet that uses seed phrases, which is most wallets on the market. So Ledger, Trezor, OneKey, they all use 24-word seed phrases. But also, I hope you know that the 24-word seed phrase is the literal key to all of your crypto. So you never want to like those websites you'll get an email and it'll be like, oh, you need to input your seed phrase. Never, ever do that. If anyone ever asks you for your seed phrase, 10 times out of 10, it's a scam. So I just want to make that clear. Like, only enter your seed phrase on a trusted cold wallet device, but not in like random websites. Let's see. Regarding Ledger, to receive onto Flex, I always have to be signed into Ledger Live as well, correct? No, that's not correct. Again, you should really go watch the video that I published yesterday, because you have to learn the fundamentals. No one needs access to your wallet to send crypto to it. Like, if I know your wallet address, I could send you crypto right now. I don't need your permission. You don't need to be logged in your wallet. If I have your address, I can send you crypto. It's exactly like sending an email. If I know your email address, you don't need to give me permission to send you an email. I can just hit send. It's the same way crypto works. You only need access. You only need to confirm transactions if you're sending from your wallet. You don't need to be logged in or to confirm the transaction if you're receiving crypto. So the only thing you need to send crypto to your wallet is the receiving address. As long as you have that, you just paste that receiving address into whatever platform you're sending crypto from, hit send, and it'll show up in the receiving wallet. You don't have to be signed in. Someone says, is Tangem good for long-term holding? I think all wallets are at this point like good for long-term holding, whatever that may be. I personally like Tangem because it doesn't have a battery. or really any components that are bound to break. Tangent wallets are designed to, the components are designed to last a minimum of 25 years. That's why there's a 25-year product replacement warranty. But who's to say that all the cold wallet technology won't be obsolete tomorrow? No one knows that. But they're really as secure as the networks, the crypto networks. So I think Tangem is completely fine for long-term holding, to answer your question. Is the Tangem, here, let me pull this back up, because some of y'all are asking questions about the Tangem. Is the Tangem Family Pack option 2 cold wallets with 3 cards each? Well, let's see. Tangem Family Pack, best value for 2 cold wallets. Let me double check if that's 3 cards. I believe it is. It should be 2. It should be 2 sets of 3 cards. Yeah. So the family pack includes a classic black set and any 3 card set of your choice. That's cool. So check this out. If you get, actually want to show you. But to answer your question, is the Tangent Family Pack 2 cold wallets with 3 cards each? Yes, it is. But let me show you something here. So if you get the family pack, which again, make sure you use the discount code Cybersquirrel, that gives you 10% off. That link is in the description. It'll apply the discount code automatically. But it says right here, the family pack includes classic black and a 3-card set. So if you buy the family pack, you could actually set up 3 different wallets, because you only need 2 cards per wallet. So this is 1 wallet, this is 2 wallets, this is 3 wallets. If you wanted to do it that way, you need a minimum of 2 cards to set up 1 wallet and a maximum of 3 cards per wallet in the app. So if you get the family pack, you could technically set up 3 separate wallets and manage them all in the same Tangem app. Now, something cool that I didn't realize is if you get the family pack, you can actually choose like different designs. So you can actually receive, 3 will be the classic black, and then you can get like the Bitcoin only design. By the way, if you want to save even more money, use the link in the description. And these ones, the Bitcoin design is on sale, so you'll save even more money. It's an additional 10% off. Look at the difference. $125, or if you get the Bitcoin, it's only $116, so you save $10. Same with the Ramen Cat one, and same with whatever this one is called. I forget, the spring one. So super good deal. Again, link is in the description of this video to get the 10% off, and then you'll save an additional 10% if you get any of these ones that say sale. But yeah, that's actually a really good deal. I didn't even think of that. The family pack, you get 6 cards, and you can set up 3 separate wallets for that and manage them all in the same Tangem app. I think that's a really good deal. You're getting 3 hardware wallets for $116. That's crazy. But I have to restrain myself, resist, and not buy more Tangem wallets, because I've already got 8 sets. I don't need any more. And someone was asking me why I have so many sets of Tangem wallets. The main reason is because I just like collecting the different designs when they come out. But also, Tangem is one of the only wallets that makes like managing multiple wallets extremely seamless. Because again, you can switch between all your different Tangem wallets in the same Tangem app. You could literally have 50 different sets of Tangem wallets and manage them all in your one app. And you can transfer crypto between them. That's why I like it. Can they ship Tangem wallet to Nigeria? You can go and check on the website. Just, act like you're buying a wallet, and then we'll check right now. I'll show you how to check. If you're wondering if they ship to your location, you just go to the website. You go down here where it says estimated delivery. You click on that, and then you just type in Nigeria. So it looks like they do support shipping to Nigeria. And the estimated delivery is 8 to 17 days. But that's how you check. You just tap that, and you can search for wherever you live, and it'll tell you estimated shipping time. So yes, they do. Okay. Also, I'm curious if you guys like or prefer this vertical live streaming, a little different than doing it the other way. Um, I like this, but I want to do something that you guys enjoy too. So let me know if you like this style. Griff says, "Hi, just joined. Where would you recommend I stake my crypto? Mainly ETH, Pepe, and Bonk. If I can stake, you can't stake Pepe and Bonk, and most meme coins they don't offer staking. To stake ETH, I would probably I stake all like if you stake crypto, you should do it in a cold wallet. That's my personal opinion. Um, the Ledger wallet supports ETH staking, so I'd get something. Any Ledger wallet will support staking ETH directly in the Ledger Live app. Personally, I like the Ledger Flex, but I would get a Ledger wallet and stake from the device itself using Ledger Live. There's a link to this one in the description. You get $20 worth of free Bitcoin if you buy this wallet, which is cool. Me Time Traveler says, I bought a Keystone 3 Pro. Apparently, you can't add another wallet they don't already have. Trying to add Nunchuk. Yeah, there's certain wallets you can and cannot connect Keystone to. If that wallet like Nunchuk doesn't support connecting the Keystone to it, then you just can't do it. Irvin says, thanks for the clarification. Happy to help. Johnny says, does Ledger have multi-sig access? You can really set up any cold wallet to be a multi-sig wallet. They don't offer it natively in the app, but you can, whatever cold or whatever multi-sig platform you're using, you could add your cold wallet as a multi-sig signing device. So you can do that with Ledger wallets. I will say I'm not a fan of multi-sig wallets because it does require you to use a third-party website, and you do risk compromising your wallet. Like look at what happened to Bybit. CEO signed over $1.5 billion of ETH, and he used a Ledger wallet, and he signed that malicious transaction because he connected his wallet to the vault, the multi-sig vault, which again is a centralized website, and literally lost $1.5 billion. So that's why I don't recommend multi-sig, and I don't believe it's necessary. There are certain applications where companies might use a multi-sig, but for the average trader and crypto investor, retail investors, I think multi-sig is a risk. I think it's overly complex. I don't believe it's necessary. That's why I truly believe in why I just say on this channel, like, just get a cold wallet. Like, you don't have to overcomplicate your crypto security. Literally, just get a cold wallet and treat it like a savings account. That allows you to be your own bank, and you'll know that your crypto is secure every time you go to bed at night, and you don't have to stress. But like a lot of people will come on the channel, they're like, oh, I've got my special crypto computer that I only use for crypto, along with my new crypto phone that I only use for crypto, and I've got my VPN set up with multi-sig. I've got aluminum foil on my head, like I'm ready to go. You do not need to do all that stuff. You're just making your life more complicated. PR Yari69 says, can you please expand on what you just said about spend approvals? I could, but I recommend going and watching a dedicated video that I made on this topic. I would go and look at, let me just double check this is the right video. What in the world? I would go and watch. I think this video on my channel that I recently posted, that the 3 crypto scams that drain your wallet and how to avoid them. Go watch that video, and go watch the 5 levels of crypto security video. But basically, when you interact with, I'll try to explain it really quickly. When you interact with third-party websites, like let's say Uniswap, for example, and you're swapping one crypto for another, you have to sign a smart contract. And it's a digital contract saying, you're telling the platform, yes, you can take crypto out of my wallet, and in return, you're going to give me this crypto. But in many cases, you have to also sign a spend approval. And that spend approval is telling the platform, hey, you are okay to take this amount out of my wallet. Like, I'm letting you do that. The problem is spend approvals can be malicious. So you could be thinking you're just, signing a contract that says, yes, you could take this amount, you'll give me this, when in reality you're saying, hey, you have complete access to this address in my wallet and you can take all of my crypto and give me nothing in return. This is how malicious transaction approvals work. And a lot of the times you won't know you're signing it until it's already too late, which is why you shouldn't be connecting your cold wallet to websites and signing transactions. But here's where it gets even scarier. You could sign a transaction approval today. You could sign a spend approval today. But a lot of those spend approvals are unlimited spends. And the reason these platforms offer unlimited spends is it basically makes it more seamless to use their platform. That way they don't have to request a spend approval and you don't have to sign a spend approval transaction every time you use the platform. So it really just makes it more seamless and you pay less fees because you're not signing that spend approval. But the problem with signing an unlimited spend approval is you're literally giving that platform access, unlimited access to that account in your wallet. Now, in general, this is not a concern. However, if that platform was ever compromised, like it got hacked, your approval is still lives with that platform. So if a hacker came in, hacked the platform, they would literally have access to your wallet and they could take all of your crypto because you signed that unlimited spend approval. That's why I say you need one dedicated cold wallet that you treat like your savings account. This is where all your crypto or the majority of your crypto is stored. And you can use this wallet. You really just use it to hold crypto. And then you can use the native features in the wallet's app, like the buy, sell, swap, and stake features. But you'd never connect it to external websites to swap crypto or to buy NFTs or to claim airdrops, because you do risk signing that malicious spend approval. Instead, just use a separate wallet. It could be another cold wallet or a hot wallet, and keep a small amount of crypto on that wallet in case you do sign a malicious transaction. I hope that made sense. Palum Pura says, transaction verification, and how does AirGap Wallet help with that process? What do I need to be able to decode when I'm signing before signing? So AirGap wallets is pure marketing. They're not more secure than a non-AirGap wallet. Shift Crypto, who are crypto security experts, and they make hardware wallets, they did a study on this. You don't need an AirGap wallet, and they're not more secure. AirGap is pure marketing. In general, AirGap just introduces complexities to the wallet, so it actually makes the wallet harder to use, less enjoyable to use. And if you're a beginner using an AirGap wallet, you are more likely to make mistakes, which then it becomes a risk. The way AirGap Wallet works is it uses something like QR codes to sign transactions. So you'll scan a QR code on whatever platform you're signing the transaction on, and that'll transfer the transaction data to the cold wallet. Then you sign it on the cold wallet, and then that'll create a QR code on the cold wallet, and then you have to scan that QR code with the platform you're transacting on. And it's just not user-friendly, and it's completely unnecessary. Me Time Traveler says Kraken is bad. In my experience, Kraken has been the best exchange I've ever used. But just to be clear, all exchanges are, and why I never store my crypto on an exchange and why no one should, is all exchanges are custodial wallets, meaning they control your crypto. If you have your crypto on a crypto exchange, you do not own it, you do not control it. It is controlled and kept on their blockchain addresses and secured by their private keys. That said, any crypto exchange you use has the ability to freeze your funds and lock your account. That's why you don't want to keep your crypto there. Is swapping to a stable coin a second taxable event? So any crypto swap, anytime you swap one crypto for another or crypto for fiat, it is a taxable event. However, if you're swapping like one stable coin to another, even though that's a taxable event, there's no gain or loss happening there. So you wouldn't pay taxes on that swap. If you're just swapping 1,000 USDT for 1,000 USDC, there's no gain or loss there. So even though it's a taxable event, again, there's no gain or loss that was had. So there's nothing, you still should report it, but there's nothing that you're gonna have to pay or anything like that. Gal says, what will be the best way to cash out my crypto? Gal, go type it on YouTube, how to take crypto profit. watch my video on that. That's the best advice is in that video. FYI, Bitcoin just hit 120K. Let's go. I'm telling you guys, it's October time. Make sure you got your crypto secured. I'm telling you. Stuff's going to get crazy. Make sure your crypto's in a cold wallet. Let's check out the Bitcoin chart real quick. Let's see where we're at. See what we got here. Bitcoin, $120,000. Let's look at the 5-day. Let's see where we are. Look at this. Literally, we went from September. Let's go to the 30th. Let's go to the beginning of the 30th here. September 30th at 1 a.m., Bitcoin was 114,000. Literally 2 days later, we're at 120,000. If that's not October, I don't know what is. You love to see it. You love to see it. But don't forget, don't get caught up in the hype. Don't get caught up in the euphoria. It's a great feeling. Seeing the green chart is one of the best feelings. It's a dopamine rush. It literally is like watching social media. It does something to your dopamine. But I'm telling you, have a profit-taking strategy and make sure it's secured with a cold wallet. Otherwise, you're not gonna be able to benefit from crypto going up, because you won't have your crypto anymore, because it'll either be gone or you'll get greedy and not sell it, or not take profit, I should say. Ryan says, Tangem is a bomb, really like mine. Awesome. Leroy says, is that Tangem offer available in the UK? Yes, my 10% off code, which is linked in the description, if you buy a Tangem wallet, it's available worldwide or wherever they sell Tangem wallets. If you use that link, if you use the code CyberScroll at checkout, you get 10% off your entire order. That is available everywhere, 365 days a year. So JD Sheck says, thank you. You're welcome. Me Time Traveler says, waiting for Tesla to hit 500, then we'll take profit. Heck yeah. Phil says, do you know when the paid card is coming? The last we heard is end of 2025 in select countries, Europe and the UK first, I believe. As far as when it'll be released in the US, no idea. Let's see. Griff, I already answered your question. Hopefully you heard it. As far as where to stake ETH, I would stake it in a cold wallet like Ledger. HV800 says, how can you purchase 2 different items on the Tangem website, ring and card set one purchase? You should just be able to add different ones to your cart. Let me jump on and see how you can do this. Let's see. Dun, dun, dun. Interesting. So let's see. I'm just testing this out. I just realized they don't have an add to cart button, which is weird. That's interesting. Huh. So the other thing that I see is you can just you can choose your number of sets, but I don't see how to add. I don't know. There is no add to cart button. So I'm definitely gonna have to reach out to Tangem and ask them about that, because that's a huge fail on their end. So I might have to place 2 separate orders. I will say though, the Tangem ring does come with 2 cards, which is cool. So yeah, but that's interesting. I'll have to reach out to Tangem. Michael Blast says, so 2 sets of Tangem cards can be managed within the Tangem app, as in 2 separate accounts. checking and savings, for example, absolutely. Yeah, you can set up, you can have, there's no, to my knowledge, there's no limit of sets of cards you can have in the app. If there is, the limit is extremely high. So you can literally have 50 different sets of Tangem cards, all their own wallet, in your one Tangem app. So basically, when you buy your Tangem wallet, like I have 3 wallets in one of my apps right now. But basically, the way you do it is you set up one set, and then once you have that set up, you just go to the settings. There's a button that says Add New Wallet. You tap that button, and then you go through the setup process again for the next wallet. And then to switch between your different wallets in the app, you just swipe left and right at the top of the screen. Super convenient. Santos says, "How does top fans work? What is the XP for?" Honestly, you're talking about the YouTube like top fan thing. I don't know. Um, I need to look into that. I don't know what the XP is for. I think you just get this cool badge, Santos, like when you're commenting, like you got the #1 crown. I guess you're the top dog on the chat right now. Phil says, "Do you know when we get the pay card? End of the year in select countries." Leroy says, "Horizontal is better." Okay, noted. Gold Cat says, "I got mine in less than 14 days." Cool, cool. Grizzly Beers says, "How do you add HBAR to a Ledger Flex?" There's a spot in Ledger Live. I don't know if you've seen my recent Ledger Flex tutorial, but I do cover Ledger Live in that video. I'd go and watch that. But let me make sure Ledger Live supports HBAR natively. Also, if you just type in Ledger Live HBAR on Google, there is a step-by-step guide. But basically, you open up Ledger Live, you tap the Accounts tab, and then Add Account, and then you search for HBAR and select it, and it's that easy. Michael Blast says, "Keystone is a waste of money when the other wallets do the same thing better." That's actually a good point to make. Of course, that's going to be subjective. I know a lot of people love Keystone, but that's a good point, Michael. All cold wallets, they all do the same thing. A cold wallet is basically just a secure signing device. So it holds your keys securely, and it securely signs transactions offline in a secure environment. All cold wallets do the same thing. That's why, now I'm not saying they're all equally secure and things like that. There's different security features, but they all are made to do the same thing. That's why when I'm looking for a wallet and when I choose, my favorites, it's like, well, what does that process the easiest and the best? In my experience, that's Tangem, Ledger, Trezor, and OneKey. Naturally Me says, "Hello, so in order to sell anything from Ledger X, you have to send it to Coinbase, then to your bank account?" No. You can sell crypto directly from your cold wallet. It just depends on the cold wallet you're using and which platforms they partner with. But you always will have to use a centralized exchange to cash out to your bank, yes. There's just 2 ways you can do that. You can use your own external exchange like Coinbase, or you can use one of the ones offered through Ledger Live. So yeah. Me Time Traveler says, "The attack on the blockchain last month made me get 2 hardware wallets." Wonder what attack was that? I don't remember what attack that was. CXGX says, "What's your guess when the market will go to extreme greed?" I'm not sure, honestly. Not sure. Logic says, "Isn't EliPal a multi-sig wallet?" Again, any wallet you can set up as a multi-sig wallet. EliPal is not currently a brand I recommend. I've recommended them in the past. I used them myself in the past. I own every EliPal wallet. But after they lied to me in an email, and after I called them out about it, and kind of the way they handled the whole situation was really weird to me. Not a wallet company that I recommend or that I feel comfortable using myself. So I have been telling people to kind of avoid EliPal. Basically what happened, a couple different things. They sent me an email a few weeks back claiming that another wallet brand had been compromised. And I was like, that's completely false. You literally just lied to me. And the reason they did that, they're like, hey, this wallet's been compromised. Um, advertise our wallets. And I was like, what the hell? And so I called them out in an email, and they acted surprised. They're like, oh, like we've been a partner with you, and you've been our affiliate partner for so long. Like, we're so surprised that you're saying stuff like this. And I'm like, I'm literally just calling out what you said in the email you sent me. Um, and then after that, I don't know, whoever was on the email kind of went into panic mode, and they're like, "Oh, you're so right. I'm so sorry." They sent me like four different apology emails, and then they're like, "Oh, we'll send you like a gift to make up for it." And I was just like, "No, that's not how that works." I told them, I was like, "I'm not going to recommend your products anymore. Um, that's just not a company that I want to support." I think that's a bad marketing tactic. I also called them out about the LA X card. They claimed that it was an air gapped wallet, which again, air gap doesn't really matter, doesn't make the wallet more secure. But they're marketing it as an air gapped wallet when it literally relies on NFC or near field communication. That's not air gap, my guy. Um, so yeah, super just a sketchy company. Um, I think honesty, transparency in any business will take you the furthest. Um, and the opposite will tear you down. And I know a lot of you don't actually see like the other side of the hardware wallets. Like, all you see is what what they're telling you on Reddit, what we're saying in these YouTube videos. But I talk to all these companies. Like, I have a relationship with all of them. Um, and a lot of you don't see like what goes on behind the scenes, and that's what I try to bring out. And that's what happened with EliPal. Another wallet I don't recommend is CypherRock. CypherRock is a new wallet. It's manufactured and made in India. They're based out of India, which it is what it is. But they also started spamming all my social media channels with like fake bots, saying like CypherRock is the best, and like calling out other wallets. And I called the guy out, and I was like, "Why are you doing this?" And he's like, "Oh, we're not doing this. It might be a marketing company that we partnered with who's doing it, but it's not us." I'm like, "Okay, so it's you." I was like, "Okay, well, I'm not going to recommend your products anymore. I don't think that's a way to do business." And of course, he was pissed off. And then like he messaged me 6 months or a year later on WhatsApp and was like, "It's like, hey, how's the spam bin? You should be seeing less of it now." Which literally he just proved that he was in control of that. And then recently, like a couple weeks ago, I saw they're still spamming people on Twitter with like super body reply. I don't know. Uh, yeah. And then Decent. I don't recommend Decent because, like I explained earlier, it's 100% closed source. Anyways, rant over. That's just kind of some behind the scene things. Luis says using swap on Tangem, the cost would be 1%, and on Kraken would be around 0.1 to 0.2%. Am I correct? The swap feature, I don't think so. So it's been a couple months now, but I compared the swap. I tried swapping the exact same cryptocurrency and amount on Tangem and then on Kraken, and the fees were almost identical, like within a few cents. But that's specifically for the swap. The buy and sell fees are a lot higher if you're doing it through Tangem, but the swap feature has been pretty comparable. That could be different now. I will say Kraken Pro will get you the best swap fees. Michael Blast says aluminum foil and Tor with Starlink from an undisclosed location in the middle of the forest. Exactly. That's I should create like the ultimate. What is that called? The starter pack, the crypto security starter pack. You need a cold wallet. You need aluminum foil. You need a Tor network with Starlink, and you're gonna need a camper van so that you can go live out in the middle of the forest. Make sure you have like 18 dedicated computers, uh, 10 burner phones. What else do we need? Maybe some fake passports and social security numbers. Yeah, that's the only way you can keep your crypto safe. You need all those things. Loom says if I were to verify transaction details like you were talking about on Ledger, how do I do it with Tangem? With Tangential? How do I do that with Tangential? Are you talking about Tangem? You would just do it in the Tangem app. Giggle says, what hot wallet supports 20-word phrases? I think most hot wallets support importing a 24-word phrase at this point. Gal says, how do I cancel all the approvals? So to cancel, you have to revoke contract approvals. Now, this will only help you revoke the approval. If you initially sign a malicious transaction approval, it's not going to help you there. But if you have current approvals signed, you can go to a website like revoke.cash, and you can revoke your approvals there. Now, realize that when you revoke contract approvals, it is you have to do that on the blockchain network. So you are paying transaction fees to revoke approvals. That's why it's just easier to not sign those approvals in the first place using your cold storage wallet. But let me show you the website. So this is, what was going on here? So this is revoke.cash. Take back control of your wallet. And then you basically just connect your wallet. So I actually have a wallet connected. Let me make sure nothing crazy is going to pop up if I do this, and I'll try to show you this. Let's see, go to my approvals here. So here, let me show you. So this is one of my wallets. And you can see I've got these approvals, and it'll tell you, when the approval was signed, and then, you can revoke it. It'll show you, like you can see right here, this one is an unlimited approval. Then I have some approvals for other amounts here. But yeah, this is how you do it. It's got these little warning things, but you just click the revoke button, and then you'll have to, you'll sign the transaction, and it will revoke the address approval. The reason you see so many revokes is because this is one of my hot wallets. This is not my cold wallet. So I just choose not to revoke them because, again, I don't hold any value in this hot wallet. I only use it to transact, and all my crypto is kept secure in cold storage. And that's how I do it. That way I don't need to worry about revoking it. So, yeah. Yari says, wait, hold on, I'm not there yet. Okay. Yari says, I never heard someone explain that so thoroughly. It's really important info. Thank you so much. Happy to help. Me Time Traveler says, Keystone also has a great way to verify the seed. You can verify it anytime. Yeah, that's a cool feature. Jay's Neek says, what best platform for memes, stables, and options? Well, I mean, let's be real. If you're trying to get in on meme coins early, like early, the only way you do that is using a decentralized exchange. So like if you're on Solana, that's going to be like Jupiter or Pon0x. If you're on Ethereum, that's again Pon0x or Uniswap. So that's probably the best place to swap meme coins is going to be on decentralized exchanges, because the only way you can get into a meme coin really early is to buy it before it gets listed on the exchange. If you're buying a meme coin on the exchange, I'm not going to say it's too late, but you did probably miss the initial, like getting in really early, Clifford says, where do you find these card sets on the bottom of the page? Can't find nowhere to get it. I'm not sure what you mean. When you go onto tangem.com, you select the Get Tangem button, and then that'll take you to this right here, and then you'll be able to select the different wallets, like right here. So. Okay, where was I at here? Where did we go? Let's see. Someone says, is CowSwap safe? I've never used CowSwap. I don't know if it's safe. Grizzly Beer says, it doesn't work for me even after updating. If you're talking about adding HBAR, I haven't added HBAR to my Tangent wallet, but it should work. Make sure your Ledger Live is updated as well as your Ledger firmware. JD Sheck says, do you think Tangent will offer cash back in the form of crypto when it comes out? Maybe, but Tangent Pay isn't a crypto credit card. It's a debit card, so you only spend money you have. I don't know. It's possible. GraphBuzz says, when you withdraw to your wallet, do you have to pay taxes at that time? So transferring crypto isn't a taxable event to my knowledge. So sending crypto between wallets or sending crypto from an exchange to your wallet, that's not a taxable event. Only when you dispose of the asset, swap one for another, swap one for fiat, that's where the taxable event comes in. Or if you receive crypto as payment for a job or a service or a product or something, or if you receive a crypto airdrop, those are all taxable events. But simply transferring your crypto. Logic Q says, I'm not a fan of EliPal either. I have $200 in Bitcoin stuck on there, and the customer service is just as bad as Coinbase. Interesting. I'd be curious to know how your Bitcoin is stuck on there. It shouldn't be stuck. If you have your seed phrase, you could take that seed phrase and import it into a different wallet if you need to and access your Bitcoin that way. Are there purely open source verified apps that work with multiple cold wallets? I don't know about that, but I will say like Trezor Suite, for example, is 100% open source, and you can actually use, I might be wrong, but I think like you can use like one key with Trezor Suite. Ledger Live is also 100% open source, but I'm not sure you can use other wallets with Ledger Live. So I don't know for sure. Griff says, can you tell us more about airdrops and how somebody can use it, please? An airdrop, you usually only get an airdrop if you're involved in some kind of crypto community, and you can get an airdrop maybe for like your involvement in the community. But airdrops is basically you just receive crypto, you receive free crypto. And that's kind of how that works. Paul Sam asked who we were talking about. We were talking about EliPal. Chubby says they got themselves a second Tangent wallet. Heck yeah. Super cool. Michael Blast says EliPal batteries are terrible. I had one of the batteries swell up after 2 years. The battery in in EliPal, yeah. I haven't had any battery issues with EliPal myself. I don't think like the battery doesn't last long, but I haven't had any swelling on any of my wallets. Okay, Moni Kami asking about CowSwap. Please stop spamming the chat. Otherwise, I'll just remove you from the live stream chat. I don't know if CowSwap is safe because I don't use CowSwap. Abel says, I was a corporate sales trainer, manager, and salesman for 25 years, and I always told any salesperson, never lie, it will come back on you. If you feel you have to lie to make a sale, you're in the wrong field. Yeah, 100%. I think lying could work for the short term, but if you want to build a sustainable business or a long-lasting career, you only do that through honesty and integrity, not through lying. Because yeah, to your point, word of mouth is still extremely strong in 2025, and it's only amplified by the internet. So if you are lying, and if you are caught in your lie, that's why they call it, caught in 4K. That spreads a lot faster in the current day of age. So I would agree with that. Paul Sam says, do you market based on if you like them or not, or if they are good quality? Do you market based on, are you asking about like what wallets I recommend? I don't know. I'm not going to recommend a company who uses unethical marketing tactics and lies to their customers and their partners. That's not a quality company in my opinion. Ethan Hunt says, hello. What's going on, Ethan? Ethan says, hello. Tell me if the Tangem card is still the best secure wallet. Best is subjective. What might be best for me might not be best for you. When it comes to Tangem and for any wallet, the one thing you always want to check is, does it support the coins you want to hold? All the wallet websites have a coin support tab. You can go and check supported coins there. For me and for thousands of subscribers on this channel, Tangem has been one of the best options for its simplicity. It is the most user-friendly wallet on the market. So if this is your first cold wallet, Tangem is, in my opinion, one of the best options. It's also proven to be secure. 6 million cards produced, not a single one hacked. So yeah, I think Tangem is a great option, especially if you're just getting into cold wallets. Also, if you buy a Tangem wallet today and maybe, next year you decide you want to try something else, you can do that. You're not stuck to Tangem. You're not stuck to Ledger. You're not stuck to Trezor or OneKey or Keystone or whatever it may be. Like, you have options. Just because you choose a Tangem wallet today doesn't mean you can't choose something else tomorrow. But yeah, I think most people who end up getting Tangem and who have taken the time to learn how to use it, which is really simple, they end up enjoying it. Most of the complaints I hear from actual Tangem users, not from people with, that make up theoretical scenarios like, well, this could happen and this could happen. But people who actually use a Tangem wallet, their main complaints will usually come from they don't understand how to use it, or how crypto works, or that it doesn't support multiple receiving addresses for the same blockchain network, which hopefully will come soon by the end of the year, I've heard. But those are the two biggest complaints I've heard about Tangem. So yeah. Santos says, I used Revoke Cash before and it was easy. Yep, for sure. Yeah, it's pretty easy. Just hit revoke and sign the transaction. Rawlings says, hey, new here but love your content. Which would you recommend when selling? Taking a small hit by selling on Tangem because of the fee, or taking the time to send all the crypto to an exchange? It doesn't really take any extra time to send your crypto to an exchange. So that's what I would do. I could probably send crypto to Kraken and sell it there faster than I could sell it on Tangem. So personally, I'm gonna save money on the fees and send to an external exchange. That's what I do. GraphBuzz says, explain taxes, please. I'm not a tax advisor or a tax professional, so I'm probably not the person you want to be taking tax advice from. I can only comment on what I've learned and experienced while filing taxes for the last 5 years, because I've been doing my own crypto taxes for about 5 years now. But yeah, if you use a cold wallet, like if you're in crypto, you are supposed to be reporting your crypto transactions. And if you're making money in crypto, you are supposed to be, they are taxed as capital gains. So I will say that. If you want to learn how to file your own crypto taxes, type in how to file crypto taxes on YouTube. I have a complete step-by-step guide showing you how I do it using CoinLedger, which is a tax software, how to communicate that with all your cold wallets and your exchanges and hot wallets. Or you could also hire someone to do them through the CoinLedger website, which is an option. I'll probably do that this year. But yeah, like if you're in crypto and you're making money and you're doing swaps, then here in the US at least, you are supposed to be reporting that. So that's all I'll say. If you have any specific questions, though, I'd reach out to your local tax advisor. Raul says, what's up with all the Web3 and cold wallets will soon be trash coming from? I see a lot on socials. Raul, whatever social media you're following that's telling you that, stop following them, because they're making crap up and they're lying to you and probably trying to scam you. Paloom says, what do you think of the Trump USD1 stablecoin business? What's going on? I don't have anything to say about that, honestly. Let's see. I guess I was cutting in and out. I don't know if this was recently because I'm kind of behind on the chat, but yeah, sorry. It's probably just my internet. Chris says, I haven't come across something on Tangem I didn't have. Other assets you should be staking anyways, but ones you can stake, just store them in Tangem for sure. Michael Bernard Jr. says, I set up my Tangem wallet without a seed phrase. How could I go back and put a seed phrase on my cards? I didn't put coins on my cards yet. Okay, well, that makes it easier, Michael. What you need to do is go into the settings, select your wallet, then tap Manage Device, and then tap Factory Reset. And you'll have to scan each card one by one and factory reset every card. And then that'll put the cards back to factory settings, and then you can go through the setup process again. If you need a video on how to do that, I have one on my channel. Type in on YouTube, Mist Seed Phrase Tangem Wallet, and my video will take you through those steps if you want like a step-by-step guide. But really, since you don't have any crypto on the cards, it's as easy as going into settings, select your wallet, tap Manage Device, factory reset cards, and make sure to scan each card during that process. Dubai Babe says, have you looked into the Sol phone? Yes, I have the Sol phone right here. It's a Solana. Oh, of course, it's not gonna. The Solana Seeker. I have it. Dun, 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 dun. Okay. Leroy says, so many YouTube scammers always shilling. Yeah, there are a lot of YouTubers that have a massive audience that I wish they didn't have, just for the pure fact that they have their audience's worst interests. And like, I'm not even kidding, like at least 90% of crypto influencers are scammers. It's pretty hard to make money in crypto, even as an influencer. Most crypto influencers make their money, again, off of shilling coins to their audience, so that the price goes up and then they sell them, or the project will just pay them money to shill it. So if they aren't like literally scamming their audience, then they're taking money to promote scam coins. And then like views, getting views will also pays crypto influencers. But yeah, like the amount of emails I get on a daily basis asking me to promote a crypto project is insane. I mean, at this point, most of them go directly to my spam box. But these the people that are creating scam coins, they'll pay influencers a ton of money just to shill their coins, like thousands of dollars. And that's how influencers make their money. So that's one reason I try not to talk about certain coins on this channel. Even though I would never shill a coin just like to get paid, I don't want people to think that the coins that I hold and that I'm sharing with you are like, I'm telling you to buy them because, I'm getting paid to share that. So I just choose to keep that private, and y'all should do your own research and invest in your conviction plays. Griff says you're trying to find your best options to stake. I might have missed it, but what are you trying to stake exactly? Chris says it's actually not hard to make money. Just know what a project can offer and don't get emotional. I've made the most money when I don't look at it really. Yeah, the problem with crypto today is none of the projects offer anything. It's vaporware. All these projects offer you is a dream. No one's actually building anything useful in crypto, for the most part. It's just vaporware. Like what has recently what has anyone created in crypto that's changed someone's life or made their day easier or their life easier? Nothing. That's what we're still waiting for. Crypto mass adoption won't happen until actual products start coming from the technology that actually makes our lives easier or more enjoyable or solves some kind of problem. Right now, um, these crypto projects don't do that. That's why crypto is literally just a 24/7 casino. It's just for gambling. Now, I'm not talking about like Bitcoin. There's arguments that Bitcoin, it's a store of value. It's the digital gold, which is fine. I'm just talking about like any random tokens coming out right now in blockchain networks. Like what do they actually offer? They don't do jack squat. Chris says Bitcoin will go to a million, not if, when. So just gotta hold it. When Bitcoin DeFi gets unlocked, put it all in and stake your Bitcoin. You can't stake Bitcoin, at least natively on the Bitcoin network. That's not something you can do. Griff says, would you stick with a 12-word seed phrase or 24? I always use 24-word seed phrase. It's longer, more random, and technically harder to hack. Although, it's still impossible to guess a 12-word seed phrase, but since you have the option, why not choose 24? That's kind of my thought. Chris says, future is real world assets being tokenized. Maybe. Yes, if it actually makes things easier or better. Ultimately, at the end of the day, it has to provide value. All the value in crypto right now is, well, there's really no value. The value is whatever the buyers decide it is. If everyone agrees that a meme coin is valuable, then it's valuable. Not because it offers anything to anyone, but because people are putting money into it. That's what gives it its value. Gen X Patriot said, I'm so glad I found your channel a couple years ago. You've been a great help to me. Well, if you found my channel a couple years ago, then you're an OG, because this channel turned 3 years old yesterday, but I've really been going like hard on it for the last 2 years. So shout out to Gen X Patriot for being an OG. I appreciate you. Daniel says, I keep having a factory reset issue with my Tangem. They won't reset no matter how many times I try. It keeps glitching and logging me out every time I press factory reset and type in my password. I don't have a lot to say about that. I would say make sure your Tangem app is up to date. Maybe try uninstalling and reinstalling the Tangem app. But otherwise, you might have to reach out to Tangem. Teresa says hi from Tennessee, maybe. What's up, Teresa? Nazar says, what's your thought on XRP? I don't have thoughts on XRP. My thoughts are things are about to get crazy in crypto. It's October. Everything's going up. Everything's going green. Stuff's going to get crazy. Scams are going to increase. Fraud's going to increase. We're going to see a lot more hacks. We're going to see a lot of good and a lot of chaos. So I hope a lot of you have your profit-taking strategy already set. And I really hope that you have your crypto stored in a cold wallet. If it's on an exchange or in a hot wallet right now, you are at risk of losing your crypto. Again, I have links to my 2 favorite cold wallets in the description. The first one is Tangem. You get 10% off your order with that link. I also have the full user guide to learn how to use this wallet. And then I also have one for the Ledger Flex, which is my other favorite wallet. You get $20 worth of free Bitcoin when you buy this wallet, and I have the user guide for that one as well. Adrian says, do you recommend Tangem? Need a cold wallet? I watch a lot of your videos. Thanks for your service. Absolutely. Again, any cold wallet you choose, Adrian, the first thing you should check is if it supports the cryptocurrencies that you want to secure with it. You can just go to the website and there's a coin support tab and just double check that it supports the cryptocurrencies. But if this is your first cold wallet and you want something easy to use and you have a mobile phone, then Tangem is my #1 recommendation. Again, the link and user guide to Tangem is in the description of this live stream, and that link will get you 10% off your order. Some crypto does have function though. Does it? SNEC action figure, SNEC energy drink, fixed cap at 50% and sales going towards burning the token. At least there's a physical product. Chris, you don't need a SNEC token to have a SNEC energy drink or SNEC action figures. What value does the token provide besides being something that you might be able to make money with? It doesn't do anything. You don't need crypto to sell energy drinks or to have an action figure. So, have you heard of the Brandon Briggs XRP prophecy? Absolutely not. Abel says, I don't put Bitcoin in the same category as other crypto, maybe ETH and a few others, but don't mean they are worth much money, but the tech can be useful. Look, blockchain technology is extremely useful, and a lot of industries use them and we don't even know about it. But I'm talking about all the crypto projects that are coming out right now to be claiming to be the next best thing. They're trash. It's vaporware. It does not do anything. Bullish on blockchain technology, bearish on current crypto projects. That doesn't mean that they don't go up in price. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying in terms of our day-to-day life, they don't do much. It's a big casino. Kiwi says, bought a Tangent 3-pack before I found out about your discount. That's okay. At least you got, you're on your way to securing your crypto. So well done on that part. Maybe if you ever decide you want to diversify your crypto and get another Tangent wallet, since you can manage multiple Tangent wallets in the same Tangent app, you can use the discount then, because the discount it's live 365 days a year. So if you ever end up getting another one, you can use that discount. What's the capability that must be present in a cold wallet or its app for it to support any crypto, blockchain, or NFTs or whatever? So I don't know. What's the capability that must be present? It really just comes down to the wallet reaching out to the blockchain network and getting their API and basically connecting the two. Basically, they just need to make sure that the blockchain can communicate with the app. How they do that, I don't know, because I'm not a developer. But yeah, I think it really just takes a bit of effort. Peaceful Tranquility says, to hold or exit. I am confused. What is a good exit strategy and what would you hold? I'm not going to tell you what I would hold. You should really go do your own research and don't look to YouTubers and influencers to tell you what to buy. That is the best way to lose money and get scammed. If you want to know a good exit strategy though, Peaceful Tranquility, go to my YouTube video, type it on YouTube, how to take crypto profit. It's the #1 video on this channel. And in that video, I break down several strategies in a way that safe ways you can take profit and not get wrecked when that time comes. That would be my recommendation. Santos says, are you taking some profits in December or are you waiting for January 26? Guess the market will tell. I don't know. I've been taking profit for, throughout the entire year, honestly. So I'm not scared to take profit anymore. I learned my lesson in 2021 when I lost, or when I didn't take the opportunity to profit 400K. So Lynn Bush is a premium subscriber now. Shout out to Lynn. Thank you so much. I appreciate your support. Awesome. That's super cool. Lynn, let me know if you have any questions. Daniel says, do you have an email address where we can reach out to you for fan mail? No, I don't. Bitcoin just hit $121,000. I'm telling you. Telling you. You know what we should do? I wonder if I could bring up. Maybe we should start a poll. Let's see. I want to start a poll on Bitcoin price. Let's see. Will Bitcoin hit? What's a good price target for the end of the year? Let's say 150K. Let's try this poll. I've never done this before. Will Bitcoin hit 150K by 2026? Yes or no? This really staying in my way here? Can I shrink this? Sorry, I'm moving this thing around, but it's like in my way. Can I move it over here? This is crazy. Okay. Guys, I'm telling you right now, this is October, baby. This is when we see green candles. I really hope that a lot of you, that you're taking your security serious. If you don't have a cold wallet and you have questions about using a cold wallet, now is the time to ask them. I can help, I can answer user questions, I can recommend wallets based on your experience or what you're looking for. Now is when you want to ask it. Now is when things are going to get crazy. And Q4 is when scammers get the most aggressive. And when your crypto, in my opinion, is at its highest risk. So, Daniel, I don't know if I answered your question, but I don't have any email where you can reach out with fan mail. Will says Tangem versus Trezor security. Why doesn't Tangem use screens? Tangem doesn't use a screen because it's a card. But that, I mean, what does that mean? Just mean Tangem uses your phone as a screen. The keys for Tangem are still stored offline on the secure element chip inside the card. Also, I hope you do realize that wallets with screens, Trezor, the Trezor Model 1, Trezor Model T, as well as one of the older cold card wallets, those were both compromised. They were hacked back around 2020. So just because a wallet has a screen doesn't make it more secure. You have to look at the facts and look at the data. The facts are that Tangem has never been hacked. And also, like, wallets having vulnerabilities and being hacked, it's not if but when. Like, now let me clarify. Crypto security and cybersecurity in general, it's a journey. It's not a destination. You don't just wake up tomorrow and create a wallet and you're like, okay, we've just made the most secure wallet on the market. We can all go home now. That's not how it works. As a security company, you have to constantly be on top of everything. You have to be trying to break your wallets. And ultimately, the goal is to, of course, not have your device be compromised, but the goal is to reduce the impact it would have on the users if it were compromised. But really, when it comes to like security, I just look at the data because the data is all there. Today, 2025 on October 2nd, Tangem has not been hacked. But as far as security, I would trust Tangem, Trezor, Ledger, OneKey. I would trust all those wallets to secure my crypto. Abel says, yep, most is BS, you're correct, and I don't see how the valuations are made other than being shilled as the next great thing. Yeah, exactly. If enough people rally behind something, that's what gives it its value, basically. If we all agree, if we started a token right now and we all agree that it has value and we put money in it, then it has value because we agree it does. Doesn't mean that it makes our lives any better, though. Monica says, gratitude, I bought 2 sets from the discount. Awesome. Glad you got the discount. Thank you. Thank you. Abel says, this guy sits here and answers all these questions and even reads almost every comment. Get this guy some likes. I appreciate you. And I appreciate you for asking good questions. Monica says, is Swift making alternative to XRP? I don't know. Clifford says, I can't get my Flex wallet to accept HBAR from Coinbase or Robinhood. How would I go about doing that? Thanks. I don't know. I would need more information. So you're trying to send HBAR from Coinbase to your Flex or from Robinhood. It sounds like maybe you're sending it on the wrong network. But but it's really just as simple as copying the HBAR address from your Ledger Live account and pasting it into the SendSpot on either of those platforms. Um, if there's an issue, the exchange should be telling you something else like wrong network or something like that. Peaceful Tranquility says, thanks for answering. I'll take a look. Cool. Abel says 107 likes out of the 113 watching. That's awesome. Cool. I can't even see that right now, but that's pretty cool. Thanks for sharing. So let's look at this. Let's look at this poll right here. So far, 75% of you think that Bitcoin will hit 150K by 2026. So what is that? 2 months? Very possible. Very, very possible. Would be cool. You'd love to see it, right? My vote is will Bitcoin hit 150 by 2026? Just out of like my gut feeling is yes, but that's not based off of any data or anything. I don't know. But if we continue to see this trend that we're seeing right now, then yeah, for sure. Santos says, if you're new to crypto, meme coins will probably make you lose a lot of money. Oh, 100%. Even if you're not new to crypto, I've lost plenty of money on meme coins. And any of those influencers who claim to be making money on meme coins, they're probably lying. Doesn't mean there's not opportunity to, but you're right. 99% of people who are trading meme coins are probably addicted gamblers and losing a lot of money. JD Sheck says, new to your channel, have you put out any exit strategy videos? Yes. JD Sheck, go to YouTube and type in crypto exit strategy. My video will pop up. It has over 550,000 views. That is the video you want to watch. Leroy says, is it not okay to keep crypto on major exchanges? Absolutely not. Major exchanges, that doesn't mean anything. The problem with crypto exchanges, they're all the same. All crypto exchanges are custodial wallets. That means the exchange owns the keys that controls your crypto. You don't own your crypto on the exchange. You can even go to Coinbase's website and it tells you their crypto is held on their blockchain addresses and custodied by their wallets. Now, they claim that you own it, you're always in full control, which is complete BS. If you're in full control, then they wouldn't be able to freeze your funds and lock your account. Like they froze my funds for over a month, and I was a customer for over 2 years at that point. They locked my friend's account for over a year due to security concerns. And he didn't just sit there and not try to recover it. It took him a year to get to a point where they unlocked his account after he sent them a letter. But just because an exchange is big or popular doesn't mean anything. Look at FTX. Look at Bybit. Right? A lot of crypto exchanges earlier, like years ago, some of those exchanges were ran by scammers. Like they were up and operating and they had bad intentions from the beginning. But yeah, crypto exchange is not a place where you want to keep crypto. Not only do you not own that crypto and control it, but they are often targeted by hackers. And you'd be surprised that crypto exchanges are not as secure as you think. So the thing about crypto exchanges as well is for a lot of the customer funds that are used for the daily trades, which is billions of dollars, they actually keep that crypto in a hot wallet. Yeah. Like imagine Coinbase securing your crypto with a MetaMask wallet. And then as far as like crypto exchange insurance, you have to read the terms because it's very... First off, the insurance only covers a certain amount of crypto. So if more crypto from the exchange was stolen, for example, than the insurance covered, then basically you're not getting that crypto back because the insurance, just like any insurance, it only covers up to a certain amount. Also, it has to be very like specific. If you were responsible for getting your account compromised, obviously they won't insure that. So at that point, you may as well use the most secure solution for your crypto. Own your keys, be your own bank, and use a cold wallet. Which again, if you have questions about cold wallets, how to use them, which one to use, drop them in the chat. I've also got my 2 favorite cold wallets linked in the description here, with discount codes for the Tangent wallet, along with the user guide, and then with the Ledger Flex, you get $20 worth of free Bitcoin, and there's also a user guide there as well. Faraz says, what do you think of SafePal S1 Pro? I don't have that wallet yet, so I don't have much to say about it. Abel Matthew says, Tangem started as a secure ease of use cold storage wallet. They went from seed phrase because users asked for it. So something interesting that I realized the other day is Tangem adding the seed phrase to their wallet. Like our community did that. Like the Cyber Skrilla channel and all of you, we actually got Tangem to do that. So back years ago when I first got my Tangem wallet and started talking about it, actually I still use that card. It's the seedless card. This card, you can't use a seed phrase with it. I still, even though it is seedless, I still use this for certain cryptocurrencies. But at that time, like I was reaching out to Tangem and I was like, hey, you guys need to make the seed phrase an option. And because you guys were, you were telling me, and I was like, yeah, why doesn't Tangem have a seed phrase? So the channel here in our community is actually the reason Tangem now offers a seed phrase, which is crazy. I just realized that I think yesterday I was thinking about that. I was like, holy crap. Like we actually rallied together and got Tangem to do that. I don't know, super cool. Santos says security is the first step to win in crypto. Exactly. Yeah, you should be, security should be first. If you don't understand the basic fundamentals of crypto, you should not be in crypto. Monica says a small time frame that you connect your phone to internet to transfer your keys to best use not to compromise. I don't know. I don't know what you're talking about. I'm sorry. Crypto2 says, you're the best. I really appreciate how well you explain things. You have helped a lot of people and it's greatly appreciated. I appreciate you for saying that. I'm definitely not the best, but my goal is to help, at least one person. If I can do that, then, it makes me feel good. Chad says, hi, what's going on, Chad? Thanks for joining. Nicola says, what do you think is the best wallet after Tangem? Again, best is subjective, guys. There's no best wallet. What I think is the best might not be the best for you. I like the Ledger Flex. I would say, like, to be completely honest, the wallets that I use the most, because I don't use any wallet that I don't think is secure, that I don't trust. So any wallet that I use, I trust it to secure my crypto. But the wallets that I use the most, the ones that are the easiest and most user-friendly to use and enjoyable to use, Tangem, the Ledger Flex specifically, and the Trezor Safe 3 and Trezor Safe 5. I also like the OneKey Classic 1S. To me, those are like the more user-friendly options. Nothing really compares to Tangem's simplicity for obvious reasons. You just, everyone knows how to use a phone and an app on the phone. But yeah, for me, it'd be like Tangem, Ledger Flex, the Trezor Safe models, and then the OneKey Classic. I don't like the OneKey Pro, the touchscreen one. I have it, and the battery is trash on it. Maybe they fixed it since, but I don't like it. Born Again, Carlos says, what about the X card? The EliPal X card, I have it. I don't recommend EliPal wallets anymore. I already went over this earlier, but basically EliPal is not a company I'm currently recommending. They lied to me in an email, and they lie about the X card being air-gapped. The X card is not air-gapped. It uses NFC technology. It can't be air-gapped. But also, to be clear, air-gapped is just a pure marketing term. It doesn't make your wallet more secure. So that's not to say that EliPal is any less secure because it's not air-gapped. I'm just saying I'm not going to recommend a company that lies to me and to their customers. QERN says, bought into the AMC Ponzi scheme and just noticed the same AMC YouTubers are pushing XRP. I don't know. I think I think a lot of the YouTubers who push coins, even if their intention isn't to necessarily scam people, they just kind of talk about whatever is popular. I will tell you, I will tell you this. If you post a video about XRP, you get a crap ton of views. That's why some channels on YouTube have been able to build their entire channel around XRP. Like if I came out with an XRP video tomorrow, it would get so many views. So yeah, that's one way. Like talk about what's popular, get views, and get paid. That's something. Which I'm not saying is necessarily anything wrong with that. That's just something I've noticed. BJ asks, in your honest opinion, what do you think brings retail back? Once green candles start going, then that'll bring a lot of retail in. The things that the main things that scare away retail are scams and the complexity of crypto. So the less scams in the space, which I wouldn't expect anytime soon, but the more seamless crypto gets, the more retail will come in. Ultimately, it just comes down to how easy it is to get into crypto, the barrier to entry. The lower that barrier gets, the more people are likely to come in and stick around. And ultimately, I think like security plays a huge role in that and just understanding the fundamentals. Like when the internet first came out, not a lot of people used it. And a lot of people were convinced that it was just a phase, you know, the internet wasn't going to stick around. It was scary to use, it was new, it was dangerous, it was clunky to use. I mean, I don't know how many of you were around for dial-up, but I remember, you know, we had a computer in the house and someone would call the house line and you get kicked off the internet. We've come a long way since then. Now we can literally be on our phones on a phone call while sending a text while watching a YouTube video. And crypto will have its time. Like that's why crypto is still really early. We're not there yet. Again, a lot of the stuff that's coming out in the space is all vaporware. It's not actually providing anything useful to people. But there will be a time where crypto is going to be seamless. We probably won't call it crypto. It will just be, you know, whatever. And we won't even know we're using it. Kind of like we don't think about how the internet works on our phone. We just use it. We don't care. So I guess to say ultimately we need products that actually offer valuable things and they needs to be easy to use. Now, in terms of the small pocket of people who are interested in crypto, they're interested because they want to make money. So the short term is any opportunity to make money will bring people in. If media companies start coming out with, you know, Bitcoin hits new all-time high, Ethereum hits new all-time high, that's when you get more people coming into crypto because they see, you know, dollar signs. But the long term, we need actual technology that makes life better or more easy. Santos says, can you talk about crypto Visa cards? What's the options out there? Do you recommend any? I don't have any. I should do a video on them, but I don't have any recommendations at this time. Abel says, the technology is always evolving, and as good as a cold wallet can be, there will always be someone out trying to steal from them exchanges. Yeah, I think no matter where crypto ends up or how much technology advances, there's always going to be security will be crucial, and scammers will always be there. Leroy says Bitcoin new all-time high on Christmas Day. Okay, would be interesting. Henrik says, can I donate? I don't know. I know there's a way you can, but I think it's like super stickers or something. But no worries, you don't have to donate. Just being here on the live stream is all the support I need. I appreciate you. Give example of what makes crypto go up, like government shutdown. I don't know. There's a lot of things that can make the market go up. But ultimately, I'd say like in general, like when Bitcoin goes up, things tend to follow. So yeah, I think like just the mindset of being bullish makes crypto go up because more people are willing to risk more money. Chaz says, can I use a Walmart phone to transfer crypto from my checking wallet to my savings wallet? Um, I don't know. Like that would be fine. I just don't know if the Walmart phone would work with the cold wallet apps. I kind of doubt it, but it's possible. If you're using Tangent Wallet, you need a phone with NFC, full NFC. So I don't know if a Walmart wallet would support the Tangent app. Richard says, at what amount should a person move to a cold wallet? Don't want to do many small transactions and rack up UXTO. Just been in this since February. I mean, honestly, if you're in crypto, period, like unless you're someone who just like hopped on Robinhood and you bought like $20 worth of Bitcoin, maybe not then. But if you're in crypto and you're serious about like trying to make money, there's no set number or set amount of crypto you should own to get a cold wallet. You should just have one. You should, before you even buy your first crypto, you should have learned that a cold wallet is the only way you should be storing your crypto. And you should have your cold wallet delivered to your doorstep and set up before you even own any crypto. That's my honest opinion. I mean, you could buy like the Tangent wallet that's linked in the description, which is the easiest wallet on the market to use that I recommend to all the beginners. 10% off code in the discount. Like that wallet's $49 if you use the discount. If you're not willing to really invest $50 to keep your crypto secure, then in my opinion, you shouldn't be in crypto. So my answer is you should have a cold wallet regardless of what amount of crypto you own. Kiwi says, can I sell from a cold wallet or do I have to put keys back on exchange? You don't put keys on an exchange. That's not how it works. You can sell from a cold wallet using the sell button, but they just partner with exchanges to offer that service. Or you can send your crypto back to the exchange and sell there. You don't enter your keys anywhere. That's how you get scammed. You send your crypto to different places. The option is yours. You can do it either way. BJ says, how old were you when you made your first million? I'll let you know when I get there. Sam Harris says, actually, I probably won't let you know because that would not be something I would share publicly, but not there yet. Sam says, I'm just starting out and I bought some XRP, then I got a decent cold wallet, but Coinbase needed to do a small transaction to verify the wallet, but my wallet is empty, so I'm stuck. Okay, so on XRP specifically, Sam, to basically start an XRP account on any new wallet, the XRP network has nothing to do with the wallet. The XRP network requires a deposit of 1 XRP. So that's what happened. You probably had to send 1 XRP to the wallet, and you don't see it because the network takes that 1 XRP as a deposit. So now you should be able to transfer the rest of your XRP to the wallet. That said, Decent, I don't know, who recommended that wallet to you, but that is not a wallet I would feel comfortable using and not one I recommend to anyone. A lot of YouTubers recommend it because the company pays them to make videos about it, but it is a 100% closed source wallet. There's no way to tell if that company has like backdoors built into the wallet. Maybe they know your keys. I don't know. I'm not willing to risk it. I would personally, if I were you, I'd look into getting a different cold wallet. Leroy, I appreciate your kind words. You too, Santos, thank you. Born Again Carlos, thanks again. Noah says Tangent lies. Not sure what you mean. The Buried Reality says, hey guys, great news. Okay. The Buried Reality is getting banned for shilling. Goodbye. Okay. Will Tangent make it possible in the future to easily switch between normal and hidden passphrase wallet? Probably not. That would require a whole new card design. So probably not. Daniel says, I'd love for you to make a video on XRP and other cryptocurrencies describing how they work in their blockchains as well as your point of view. That's actually it's actually not a bad idea. I could for the altcoins, like the more popular ones, I guess I could make videos about them. Not talking about, like price predictions or, whether you should buy it or not, but really just how the technology of that network works. Because I'd be curious to learn more about how these networks work. So it's not a bad idea, Daniel. I might look into doing that. Faraz says, "Do you think Bitcoin is the key to financial freedom?" Not necessarily. And that financial freedom looks different for everyone. But I don't think so. Honestly, I think if you want to be financially free, meaning you own your time, um, my from what I've learned is get out of corporate America. Most people who are financially free do not have 9 to 5 corporate jobs. They're entrepreneurs, and they go out and they do their own thing. Now, being an entrepreneur also isn't for everyone, and not everyone wants to be an entrepreneur. Um, but like I worked my way up at some companies before I started doing YouTube, and I made decent money, but nothing that would qualify as being financially free. I also worked a lot of hours. Some days I would have like 15-hour days. I'd have a 2-hour, 200-mile commute. Um, but yeah, that's all I'll say. I don't know if Bitcoin is the key to financial freedom. My belief is don't wait around for financial freedom. Go out and earn it. Chris says, "Do you think quantum or post-quantum computing will destroy crypto? Being able to crack all seed phrases?" No, I don't. Also, yeah, I don't think so. If quantum computing ever gets to a point where it can do that, um, it probably wouldn't crack the seed phrases. The entire network would be compromised, and then the seed phrases and the wallets wouldn't matter. But if quantum computing gets to that point, we have a lot more to worry about. All the industries will be affected: military, healthcare, financial. Crypto will be the smallest concern, depending on where crypto's at. Born Again says, "Have you heard of the Mad Lab wallet?" That sounds familiar. I think I've seen it, but I don't know what it is off the top of my head. Jiri Zubik says, "Hi, can you stake Solana on Ledger Flex?" I believe so, but so my YouTube video, How to Stake Crypto, actually has a bunch of wallets in the description, as well as the cryptocurrencies you can stake. So I'm just going to check that video, but let me check real quick. Let's see. Ledger supports native staking for Ethereum, Solana, Cosmos, and Polkadot. Tangem also supports staking for Solana, Tron, Polygon, BNB, and Cosmos. And then the TreasurSafe 3 supports staking for Cardano, Ethereum, and Solana. So basically all wallets support staking for Solana. So yes, you can stake Solana on Ledger or Tangem, which are the 2 wallets that I have down in the description of this live stream if you're interested. I have a Ledger X, and it's hard to put my crypto in it. I don't know what to tell you there. I would, is it just a user thing, like you don't know how to do it, or what? I guess I don't know. Orlando says, "What's good, Skrilla?" in the chat. Shout out Orlando. He says, "I believe this month is going to be big month for the crypto market." Well, historically, Bitcoin October is a massive month for Bitcoin, so you might be right. Tim says, "Can I make any money with $1,000? Of course you can. I'm not going to tell you how, but I mean, people have turned $1,000 into $1 million in the crypto space. That's not very common, but you can definitely do it. Santos says, "Advice: use your cold wallet only to receive and send. Use hot wallets to trade and connect to dApps," for sure. JD Sheck says, "Do you share your portfolio with viewers, or what tokens you prefer to buy?" Absolutely not. For a lot of reasons. I think that's irresponsible in a lot of ways. Regan says, why would someone, most likely a bot, keep sending my Ledger wallet 0.00001 of a token? That's known as dusting. It's called a dusting attack. Basically what that allows them to do, they're probably sending you a token that you already have in your wallet. Maybe not. But if it is a token you already have in your wallet, that's called a dusting attack. And that way they can start to track your transfers. So they'll send you, like, let's say you have XRP in your wallet and they send you like, a small fraction of XRP. Well, now that's a part of your portfolio. So if you ever go and send your portfolio to like an exchange or something, now they can, now they know what exchange you use. Like they can see that you sent it to Coinbase, and now they can carry out a targeted attack on you using social engineering. So if they could also get a hold of your email, then they can come into your email and then they can target your email and claim to be Coinbase customer support, for example, and then send out attacks that way. So really, it's just a way to start tracking your transactions and then start to develop a plan to scam you. Simply having this token in your wallet isn't going to affect anything, but it is a way they can track you. Jim says, if I want to add more Tangem cards to my account, how do I go about doing that? Jim, it's super easy. Super, super easy. I actually have a video if you type in how to add multiple Tangem wallets on YouTube. But I'll tell you how to do it right now. It's extremely simple. So when you first set up your Tangem wallet, you'll be able to go to settings. It's the 3 little dots in the app. Tap that. And then there's a button. I think it's one of the first buttons. It says add new wallet. You select add new wallet, and then you just go through the setup process again. Let me see if I can show you on here. Yeah, I'm not going to show you on here, but yeah, just go to settings. And then there's an option, a button that says add new wallet. Select that, and then you just go through the setup process again. That easy. Dave says, can you make a video on new cryptos and their features? Probably not going to do that, honestly. Elijah says, the Ledger wallet battery died. F this, it's expensive. Yeah, I have the Ledger Nano X. This is the first hardware wallet I ever bought back in 2020. And the battery on this doesn't charge. However, I can still use it plugged in. So, I mean, batteries don't last forever, unfortunately. If you're worried about that, get a wallet without a battery. The Ledger Nano S Plus doesn't have a battery. Tangem doesn't have a battery. Trezor wallets don't have batteries. Santos says that's address poisoning. So address poisoning is different than dusting. Address poisoning is when someone sends you crypto to your wallet, and they do it using a wallet address that looks very similar to wallet addresses that you interact with, in hopes that when you go to send crypto the next time, you copy the receiving address from your transaction history and accidentally send it to their address. That's what address poisoning is. Whereas dusting is a way that they can start to track your movements. Dubai Babe says, do you think it's possible for AI to track all the addresses you send the crypto to and link all your wallets to? You don't need AI to do that. You can do that without AI. Everything that you do in crypto is recorded and tracked on the blockchain. But you don't need AI to do that. Do I think AI could do it? Yes. There are people like ZachXBT, who's a blockchain investigator. He does that for a living. The guy's a genius. BJ says, in the next cycle, how long do you think Bitcoin could go up? No idea. Nazar says, do you go live weekly? I have been. Yeah, I'm trying to. Leroy says that Coin Today did an 8,000% in 1 hour. Definitely could have made a few millionaires. Probably not. Just because a coin goes up doesn't mean that you'll make money on it. If there's no liquidity in the coin, that means you wouldn't even be able to sell it anyways. So that doesn't mean anything. Oh, Oof says, should I buy more Bitcoin or wait? Probably not something you should be asking. Don't ask for investment advice on the internet. Only you can answer that. Regan says, can I get rid of that dusting tracker if I switch to a new cold wallet? It's not a dusting tracker. It's just how the blockchain works. Anything that's in your wallet, any crypto that's in your wallet, and everything you do on with crypto is tracked on the blockchain. You can't get rid of it. Well, you could send the crypto like to a burn address or just like send it away. Um, that's really the only way that's the way you can get rid of it. It will forever exist on the blockchain, but um, if you can isolate that specific coin, then you can transfer it out of your wallet. Leroy says, do you think a bear market will come again where Bitcoin might drop below 70 to 80K? I don't know, but what I always say is anything is possible. Hans says, One Key does not have batteries. That's not true. One Key does have batteries. The One Key Classic has batteries, and the One Key Pro has a battery. V7 says, does Tangem have a recovery check like Ledger? What do you mean? Like where you check your seed phrase, you can do that yourself. If you want to check your seed phrase, you would set up your Tangem wallet with the seed phrase, and then you would instantly do a factory reset on it, and then you would just import the seed phrase you just created, and if it imports, you're good to go. Snickum says, how can you remove dusting attempts from your wallet? Hide them if possible, doesn't get rid of them completely. Yeah, like a lot of wallets will hide dusting attacks, which isolates them. To get rid of them, you would just send that specific token out of your wallet. Depending on what network it is, I think every blockchain network has a burn address. Like if you just type in Ethereum burn address on Google, you can just send it to that address. But that's how you just get it out of your wallet, basically. Crypto 2 says, how long does it take to get the free Bitcoin once you purchase a Ledger Flex, and where does it show up? So the way that works is you receive a physical voucher like this one. This one was for Solana, but it'll actually come with your wallet, and then you'll scratch this, and then you'll claim it in Ledger Live. And then I believe it takes about 30 days. It will show up once you set up your Ledger wallet, it'll show up on your Bitcoin account in your Ledger wallet. If you want to know the exact process, just type in how to claim Bitcoin Ledger Live on Google. It tells you the entire process. But that's basically it. You get the physical voucher, you'll scan the QR code or enter the scratch off code. And then after 30 days, you'll be able to claim it in Ledger Live. Ronald says, what is the cheapest way to use Tangem Wallet? Ronald, what do you mean? You don't have to pay to use Tangem Wallet. You buy it once and you set it up and you're good to go. MM says it took less than 30 days for them to get their Bitcoin. Joy says, hi, what's up, Joy? If you are looking to get your first cold wallet, the number one cold wallet I recommend to beginners is Tangem. All you need to use it is your phone. It comes with a couple of cards like this. And if you want to learn how to use it, I have a full user guide in the description of this live stream, along with a link that'll take you to their website that gets you 10% off. Or if you prefer to use a wallet on your computer, the Ledger Flex is my choice. You get $20 worth of free Bitcoin if you use a link in the description. Again, user guide to both of these wallets in the description. And in those user guides, I show you how to set it up step by step and how to transfer crypto from the exchange to the cold wallet so that you can secure it. Hans, buying Bitcoin with Revolut directly to the One Key or Tangem, can the cold wallet get compromised? Simply buying crypto on an exchange and sending it to your cold wallet is not going to compromise it. Joy says, do you think we should get on the Bitcoin ARC? No idea. I don't know enough about that to say. GraphBuzz says, do you sell with Tangem or do you move it then sell. I sell all my crypto on, right now I use Kraken. It's super easy to do. It's just as easy as selling it on Tangem. Trezor Model T or Safe 3, don't buy the old Trezor models. Don't buy the Model T or the Model 1. I would go with the Safe 3 or the Safe 5. If you want to see a comparison, type in Trezor Safe 3 versus Safe 5 on YouTube. You can watch my comparison video. But the difference, there's a major difference between the old Trezor models, which were hacked in the past, and the new Trezor models. So the Safe models come with an EAL6 Plus secure element chip. This is like the industry standard now for cold wallets, and these chips are what hold the keys that are used to access your crypto, and it prevents them from being compromised by remote and physical attacks. So if you want the safest option, go with the Safe 3. Chris says, in the 1996 NSA paper on cryptography of anonymous electronic cash. Yeah, so cryptography has been around for a long time. The idea of it, at least. So it's not as new as we think, but we're still waiting for, value to come from the technology, I guess. Daniel says, do you give paper wallets with crypto on them to family members for Christmas instead of gift cards? And do you think that's a good idea? Daniel, I don't do that, and I don't think that's the best way to do it. But the way that I've personally done it, and the way a lot of subscribers on the channel do it, like for their kids, but like what I did for my best friend's birthday, is I actually bought him a Tangem wallet, and I let him set it up himself. Because you want to teach them how to securely manage crypto right from the start. You don't want to just hand them a seed phrase and be like, there you go, you're on your own, because they're going to be like, what the hell am I supposed to do with this? So what I did is I got my friend a Tangem wallet. I said, here, this is a cold wallet. This is how you secure your crypto. Download the Tangem app, and you're going to set it up on your own. I let him go through the entire setup process on his own. The only thing I helped him with, which I wasn't really helping him with, is I told him the seed phrase, that's the key to your wallet, never share it with anyone. That was the only thing I said. So he is able to set up his Tangem wallet. And then what I do once they get their wallet set up is I send them crypto from my wallet, and I show them that whole process. So I kind of take them through all the steps. So that's, I think, like the cool way to do it. And you're also setting them up for success versus just handing them a piece of paper that, they could throw away, or their dog could chew up, or they might spill coffee on it. Get them a cold wallet, teach them how to do it the right way. But yeah, that's what I was going to say. A lot of people on that channel, they buy Tangem wallets for their kids, and they show them how to use it. And that's kind of their introduction to crypto, which I think is super cool. Jack says, how do the Tangem cold wallet cards link together? What would that mean they're online? No, they're not online, because they're not linked together. They just all have the same key on the cards. But the way they get the key on the card is it uses the app to securely put the key on each card. But the app doesn't store the key. It just transfers the key to each card during the initial setup process before it's erased. But no cold wallet is online. If it were, that wouldn't be a cold wallet. Ronald says, I meant, is there a cheaper way to do transactions on a Tangem wallet? There's a lot to say about that. So blockchain transactions and blockchain fees are not determined by the wallet you use. Blockchain fees are determined by what network your crypto is on and how busy that network is. For example, Ethereum, it's a less efficient network, and if you are using that network when it's super busy, you're going to pay higher fees. Like in the 2021 bull run, it wasn't uncommon to see $100, $200, $300 fees. I know, it's ridiculous. It's dumb. Versus something like Solana, which is a super efficient network, you're paying about 3 cents. Three pennies. So it really just depends on what network you're using. Now, if you're talking about using the buy and sell feature in the Tangem wallet, you can save money by not using those features. Um, because with any cold wallet, the buy and sell and swap features, all those features are offered by third parties. So the cold wallet company just partners with like crypto exchanges to offer you those features directly in the app. And for that, they charge a convenience fee, the crypto exchanges. So if you want to save a little money on fees, my recommendation and what I do is I use an external crypto exchange. For example, I have my crypto on a Tangent wallet. When I'm ready to sell that crypto, I send it to Kraken, which is my preferred exchange, and I sell it there. Doing that, I probably save, I don't know, it just depends on how much I'm selling, but 10, 20, $30 per transaction. So that's what I would do. And Ronald, you donated $20. Thank you so much. That's extremely generous of you. You did not have to do that. I appreciate that. Thank you so much, Ronald. Very nice of you. Santos says hi. Santos says, what's the point of having a Bitcoin only wallet? The argument and the marketing around Bitcoin only wallets is less code, means less vulnerabilities, less attack vectors. But Bitcoin only wallet is pure marketing. Bitcoin only wallets are pure marketing. And this was confirmed by a top hardware wallet manufacturer. They told me that the whole Bitcoin only wallet thing is just a way to market wallets at Bitcoin maxis. That's not to say that they're not secure. I'm just saying you don't have to use a Bitcoin only wallet to secure your Bitcoin. Snickum says, what types of places are the best place to store cold wallets? In and out of home, safety deposit box, fireproof safe? That really just depends on your living situation. I can't really advise you on where to store your cold wallet. More importantly, where are you going to store your seed phrase is what I'd be asking. I think only you can answer that question. Where would you keep something that's extremely valuable to you so that only you could access it and that it will remain safe in like a natural disaster? I think only you can answer that. Is there a way to buy crypto under 18 years old? That I don't know. Ask your parents. They could probably help you. JD says, would you recommend creating a separate email for buying on exchanges for security? You could, definitely. I have recommended that in the past. That's not like a requirement, but if you want to use an email that's only used on exchanges so that you don't receive like spam emails, then yeah, you could do that. Ronald says, do you have a video on all the info so I can watch it? What info specifically? Like everything I explained isn't really a video. It's just like how crypto works. If you go to my channel, Ronald, and you want to learn more like about Tangent in general, go to my channel and select the playlist tab and then select the Tangent wallet playlist and just binge all those videos. Like if you go and watch all those videos about Tangent, you'll be an expert in no time. That's what I would do. Rob says, what do you think about Solana? I mean, I think I like Solana's fees. I like how it's affordable to use, right? Only a couple cents. Right now, Solana is having its moment. I think a lot of people are using the Solana network. In 2021, it was Ethereum. I think now it's Solana because of how cheap it is to use. And I think a lot of stuff is being built on Solana, and there's a lot of opportunity to build things on Solana. So that's all I have to say about it. But yeah, that said, again, if you're looking for a cold wallet and you want to make sure your crypto is secure for this bull run, I have links to my 2 favorite cold wallets in the description, along with discount codes and vouchers to get free Bitcoin. So definitely check those out. I also have the full user guides for both of those wallets if you want to learn how to use the wallet, set it up, transfer crypto to it. That being said, I got to get out of here. Thank you everyone for joining the live stream. Stay safe out there. God bless.